Chapter 259. The Thousand Island Lake marched on like a swarm of locusts. Everywhere they went, all the families in the cities were looted. After 3 or 4 days, the families along the way learned their lesson. They left the cities early with their family members' wealth and mystical materials. They would come back after the army left. However, the Thousand Island Lake army changed their route when they failed to get anything from 2 cities. Moreover, they had started to divide their forces into 10 armies, which then swept towards Emperor City like 10 sharp arrows. This time, even more clans suffered a calamity. The area covered by the 10 armies was too wide. Where could they hide? Many counties didn't have teleportation formations. The 3 royal families didn't take any action. There were scouts lurking in the 3 royal cities all the time. Once the powerful warriors of the 3 royal families made a move, the scouts would notice. Time passed on day by day. The Emperor City was getting closer and closer. The Thousand Island Lake was getting livelier and livelier. Many people made bets on whether the family would fight back or not. How many hours could they resist? They were betting that Huashan would drag several warriors of the Eternal Realm to death with him. Madame Yen was busier. Bai Qiuxue could only sleep for 4 to 6 hours every day. Countless pieces of information were sent back. They needed to be analyzed and summarized before they were sent to Bai Shi. This time, the Thousand Island Lake only had 10,000 warriors, but the Bai family sent out tens of thousands of scouts. Information was everything. The Heaven Martial Kingdom was someone else's territory. Without information, the Old Man of Heaven Prison would be blind. To win the battle beautifully, the Thousand Island Lake must have the information of the entire northern desert. Fortunately, everything was normal. The Yu family didn't run away. The 5th-rank families and the 3 royal families were quiet. If nothing went wrong, the Yu Emperor City would be leveled to the ground in a couple of days. On the 12th day, the Thousand Island Lake army entered the region controlled by the Yu family. The 10 armies merged together. After all, the region belonged to the Yu family. All the counties were dependent on the Yu family. Battles were likely to break out. As expected, when they arrived at a county, a battle broke out. When the Thousand Island Lake army was about to loot the county, they met resistance. The Thousand Island Lake army didn't show mercy. They killed all the warriors of the family after paying the price of more than a dozen casualties. It was good that some people fought back. If there was no resistance, then there would be a problem. Bai Shi and the others ordered to march on. They rushed towards the Emperor City and looted every city they passed. However, when they arrived at the next county, all the families in the county, big or small, had fled and all the scouts of the Thousand Island Lake hiding near the county were killed. Bai Shi was enraged. He mobilized a few hundred people to chase after them, while the main army continued to advance. The next city was the same. This time, not only did they escape, but there were also people lying in ambush to assassinate them. There were quite a number of assassins, but once they missed their target, they immediately fled. When the army sent out a few dozen people to chase after them, something unexpected happened. Those people were ambushed and killed in an instant. When Bai Shi sent people to investigate, the ambusher had mysteriously disappeared. Along the way, there were martial artists hiding and assassinating everywhere. It was as if the mountains and plains were filled with enemies. It seemed that the Yu family was going to drag some warriors of the Thousand Island Lake down with them. They were going to fight to the death. Bai Shi was even more relieved when the Yu family did this. What other tricks could the Yu family have up their sleeves if they even resorted to assassination? Wasn't it just a last-ditch struggle? The death of some warriors of the Soul Pond realm was not a big deal. After all, the Bai family had sent out warriors of the Fate Will realm at the very least. Luli didn't care if the Bai family warriors died. On the other hand, the other families were enraged. They sent out patrol teams. Fate Wheel Realm warriors led the teams to search for hidden warriors all over the mountains and plains, killing everyone they saw. Assassins were everywhere and fighting was everywhere. Many mountains and rivers were dyed red with blood. This time, it was obvious that it was not only the Yu family assassins. All the big families affiliated to the Yu family had sent out warriors as well. There were too many warriors in hiding. The more they killed, the more they would find. Don't worry about the assassins. Full speed to the Yu Emperor City. She felt that something was wrong. Could the Yu family be stalling for time? It was pointless to send out those assassins. They couldn't kill too many people. The only thing they could do was buy time. As the army moved forward at full speed, they encountered more and more assassins. If the assassins could not be cleaned up, the army could not move fast. Leave some of you to clean up. The rest, go on as fast as you can. She decided to split up. After all, those warriors of the Soul Pond realm couldn't do much. The main force was on the iron-armored ship. As long as the main force was not split up, it would be fine. She looked down on those powerful warriors of the Yu family. The old man of Heaven Prison alone could level the Yu Emperor City to the ground. Report. An hour later, a scout boarded the battleship and delivered an important message. All the powerful warriors of the Yu family had left the city and were heading to the northeast at full speed. Their target should be a perilous place in the northeast. Haunted Hollow? She looked at the map and frowned. The Haunted Hollow was one of the perilous places of the Heaven Martial Kingdom. It was said that it used to be a region with a population of tens of millions. All of them were slaughtered by a powerful warrior. The ground caved in and countless dead people were buried there. Those dead people turned into ghosts. None of those who went in could come out. She didn't believe in such nonsense. It might work to fool the common people. Clearly, this was a secret base of the Yu family. They spread the rumor to prevent people from getting close. Why did the powerful warriors of the Yu family abandon the city? Why the Haunted Hollow? She couldn't figure it out. Scouts could not get into the Haunted Hollow. She didn't know what was going on inside. He thought about it and reported to the old man of Heaven Prison for a decision. Go to the Haunted Hollow. The old man of Heaven Prison gave the order without any hesitation. Then he explained, the Haunted Hollow is connected to a small world. The Yu family wants to escape into the small world and cut off the connection with the outside world. Small world? She ordered the iron-armored ships to fly towards the Haunted Hollow at once while the army rushed towards the Yu Emperor City. She ordered that if anyone in the Yu Emperor City resisted, they would be killed without mercy. All the powerful warriors of the Thousand Island Lake were on the iron-armored ships. They were the main force. The ones on the ground were only here to smash, loot, and burn. At the moment, the Yu family warriors were rushing towards the Haunted Hollow. They were going to enter the small world. She was sure that the Yu family was going to escape after he remembered the previous assassinations and stalling. They were going to enter the small world and cut off the connection with the outside world. Small worlds could be refined, and the refined small worlds were known as mystic realms. Of course, only the most powerful warriors could refine small worlds. The Yu family must have other means, which the Bai family had. After the Thousand Island Lake declared war, the Yu family must have started to prepare. Now, they were about to refine the small world, so they ran towards the Haunted Hollow at once. The iron-armored ships were fast. The distance was not far. They arrived at the Haunted Hollow in just 16 hours. According to the scouts, all the powerful warriors of the Yu family had just gone in 2 hours ago. The Haunted Hollow looked horrifying. Looking in from the outside, the Haunted Hollow was shrouded in black fog. Nothing could be seen inside. Before they got closer, a surge of cold chi and energy spread over. Many warriors of the Fate Wheel realm felt chills on their back. Go in. She didn't mind at all. This was clearly an inhibition formation to fool people. With the old man of Heaven Prison here, what was there to be afraid of? The more than a dozen iron-armored ships whooshed over. All the warriors went out to the deck, ready to fight at any time. In just a blink, the iron-armored ships had pierced into the black fog and disappeared, as if they were swallowed by a huge beast. Report. At the same time, there came an urgent report from the Bai Emperor Mountain. A scout rushed to the outdoor pavilion, knelt to Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue and said, "News from the Heaven-Frigid Kingdom and the Heaven-Cold Kingdom. The family patriarchs and eternal realm patriarchs of the two royal families are all teleported to the Heaven Martial City." Chapter 260. Madame Yen didn't do anything after hearing the news. She waited quietly. She needed more accurate information. Report. Not long after, a hall leader walked over and reported the news that Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue didn't want to hear the most. After the two royal family patriarchs went to the Heaven Martial City, they teleported to the Yu Emperor City together with the family patriarch of the Z family and powerful warriors. Buzz! Madame Yen did not hesitate this time. She took out a jade talisman and crushed it. This kind of jade talisman was a warning jade talisman. If this one was broken, the other one in Bai Shi's hand would also be broken. Bai Shi had brought a few of these jade talismans with him. Previously, they had agreed that if Bai Shi did not die, he would immediately know that the three king clans had made a move. Where are the ancestors now? Madame Yen crushed the jade talisman, stood up and looked at the map of the northern desert. The hall master glanced at the map, pointed at a region and said, "They should have all entered the Ghost Valley. Previously, the experts of the Yu family entered here, and the old ancestor and the others chased after them." "Oh no, this is a trap." Madame Yen let out a long sigh. Her face looked awful. Autumn Snow's beautiful eyes flickered as she pondered for a moment. After a while, she said doubtfully, "This doesn't make sense. Although our ancestor's lifespan is nearing its end, his combat prowess isn't much weaker than when he was at his peak. What right did the three royal families have to defeat their ancestor? None of the three royal families has reached the human sovereign realm. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to set up trap. They could just kill their way into the Thousand Island Lake." Madame Yen could not figure it out either. The Bai family had been investigating the abilities of the three royal families, and they did not find any significant breakthrough. The family patriarchs of the three royal families were all at the peak of the noble lord realm, the same as the old man of Heaven prison. However, the profound meanings they comprehended were different. The most powerful among the three royal families was the monarch of the Heaven-Frigid Kingdom, who had comprehended a fourth-grade profound meaning. On the other hand, the profound meaning the old man of Heaven prison had learned was of the sixth rank, the same rank as Lu Renhuang. That was why the old man of Heaven prison could fight 1 against 3 and hurt 2 of them. Profound meaning had a great impact on a warrior's abilities. For example, even though Ming Yu only had a second-rank profound meaning, he could defeat all the average warriors of the noble lord realm who didn't have a profound meaning. This was the difference. Profound meanings were the supreme principles of heaven and earth. Once an ordinary person understood one kind of profound meaning, it would be hard for them to understand the other profound meanings. Of course, this was the knowledge of the warriors of the northern desert. It was said that the top warriors of the Central Plains had comprehended several ultimacies. In the northern desert, even the Dragon King had only comprehended one ultimacy. In other words, unless the leaders of the three royal families broke through to the Renhuang Plain, there would be no qualitative leap in their combat ability. Since that was the case, why did they set up this trap? If they were not sure that they could kill the old man of Heaven prison, then it would be meaningless to do so. On the contrary, it would completely enrage the old man of Heaven prison. Maybe many people would die this time. Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue kept silent. The old man of Heaven prison brought his people into the haunted hollow. All the powerful warriors followed him, including the powerful warriors of the Yu family and the three royal families. Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue had nothing to do now. Even if they wanted to help, they couldn't. They could only wait for the final result. Send a message to Bai He and Bai Lu. Ask them to send people into the Ghost Valley, and report back immediately if they find any information. At the same time, mobilize our spies in the 3 great royal clans and find out the inside information of the 3 great royal clans at all costs. Madame Yen thought about it and gave the order. After giving the order, Madame Yen became restless. She paced up and down in the outdoor attic and her face was gloomy. So was Bai Qiushue. She had thought of the worst situation. Once something went wrong, the entire Thousand Island Lake and the Bai family would be destroyed. The Thousand Island Lake was in the middle of the 3 royal kingdoms. There was no way for them to run even if they wanted to. The more Bai Qiushue thought about it, the heavier her heart became and the more awful her face became. After all, she was only a 16-year-old girl. Naturally, she couldn't keep her composure in such a situation. Time passed by bit, but there was no news. It was getting dark. Madame Yen waved her hand and said, "Qiushue, go back to sleep. I will send someone to inform you if there is any news." No. Bai Qiushue shook her head stubbornly and said, "I will wait with Auntie." Madame Yen was about to say something when a pretty girl walked over from the distance. She looked relaxed and comfortable. She cheered from the distance, "Sis, Auntie, I am back." Looking at Bai Xiaoshuang's innocent face, Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue calmed down a bit. Bai Xiaoshuang was an innocent girl. She was born with a one-track mind. Madame Yen and Madame Yen didn't want Bai Xiaoshuang to know the inside story and overthink things. It was better for her to live a simple life. After Bai Xiaoshuang came back from Lu Li's place, she couldn't sit still anymore. She went to other islands for a bit and then went back to the Bai Emperor Mountain. Bai Qiushue knew where she went, but she asked, "Shuanger, how many days did you stay with Lu Li? How are you getting along with him?" "What are you talking about?" Bai Xiaoshuang said angrily, "Sis, how can I live with a man alone? What do you think I am? I went to the Peach Blossom Cove. Now that I have had enough, I want to come back and help Auntie." "You?" Madame Yen was in a bad mood. She didn't have time to chat with Bai Xiaoshuang. She waved her hand and said, "Go back to the Peach Blossom Cove. I am busy. Don't bother me." Bai Xiaoshuang was unhappy. She covered her mouth and said, "Auntie, don't look down on me. I can help you. Why can't I? Whatever you can do, I can do as well." Seeing that Madame Yen was about to lose her temper, Bai Qiushue thought of something and said, "Shuanger, if you really want to help, then take some people with you to the islands of the Thousand Island Lake. All the powerful warriors have been transferred away. I am afraid that someone will take the chance to make trouble. Take some warriors of the Fate will realm with you and go around to stabilize the situation." Okay. This job was perfect for Bai Xiaoshuang. She was born to be active. She would find it fun to take a group of people around. Madame Yen nodded and said, "Right. Ask Bai Ding to arrange some warriors to follow you around. If there are any troublemakers, just put them down." "Okay. Auntie, sis, just wait and see." Bai Xiaoshuang patted her slightly towering peaks and left with an excited face. Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue looked at each other and forced a smile. The two of them sat in the open-air attic for a whole night, but there was no news. Powerful warriors of the Thousand Island Lake and the 3 royal families seemed to have disappeared into the haunted hollow. None of the scouts that were sent in came out. When it was almost daybreak, Bai Qiushue could not stand it anymore. She fell asleep in the pavilion. Madame Yen sat there in silence, waiting. Madame Yen waited in the pavilion for a whole day, but still, there was no news. The haunted hollow seemed to be connected to another world. Once one went in, he would not be able to come out. Bai Qiushue looked awful. She didn't sleep well last night and she almost didn't eat anything today. Her face was pale. As time went on, she looked worse and worse. The night came quietly. Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue sat in the pavilion. They hadn't talked for a whole day. The atmosphere in the pavilion was quite depressing. "Report." At midnight, a shrill voice came. Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue jumped up in fear. After listening to the report, the two of them felt weak and sat down on their butt. Their faces were completely drained of blood. Scouts outside the haunted hollow finally sent back news. 2 hours ago, warriors of the Thousand Island Lake came out from the haunted hollow. There was only Bai Ling who had lost an arm and 5 warriors of the Eternal Realm. Chapter 261. Dead. The 2 words were like a bolt from the blue, exploding in the minds of Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue. At that moment, their minds were blank except for the word dead. Dead meant that apart from Bai Ling and the 5 warriors of the Eternal Realm, the others were all dead. Bai Shi was dead, and so was the Old Man of Heaven Prison. The Old Man of Heaven Prison was dead? This was a joke. How could a powerful warrior that ranked number 3 on the Northern Desert Warlord list die? He once fought against 3 enemies and injured 2 royal family patriarchs. How could a god of the Thousand Island Lake die? For everyone at the Thousand Island Lake, nobody could kill the Old Man of Heaven Prison unless he died of old age. Even Lu Renhuang at the Human Sovereign Realm couldn't kill him. Who could kill him at the Northern Desert? Madame Yen and Bai Qiushue knew very well that the Old Man of Heaven Prison would not be the number 1 warrior on the Northern Desert Warlord list. If so, who could kill him? The 3 royal family patriarchs and Yu Huashan? Madame Yen didn't believe it, and neither did Bai Qiushue. The 2 of them looked at each other and quickly thought of 2 people. The number 1 and number 2 on the Northern Desert Warlord list. Only these 2 could kill the Old Man of Heaven Prison. The first one is impossible. Madame Yen ruled out the first one at once, because he was the chief steward of the Northern Desert Temple. It was a well-known fact that the temple never got involved in any conflicts between forces. Since the beginning of the human era, the temple had been standing in the world. Nobody had ever heard of the temple getting involved in conflict. The second one? Madame Yen soon thought of the second one. Her eyes grew colder. The second one was the chief steward of the heaven-punishing auction house, Du Zixue. Others might not know the background of the heaven-punishing auction house, but Madame Yen did. The background of the auction house was profound. The entire world, including many cities at the Central Plains, had an heaven-punishing auction house. The reason why the auction house could enter the Heaven Prison City was that the family behind it was powerful enough. The Du family. At the northern Central Plains, one of the 4 giants, the 6th-rank Du family. A 4th-rank family must have 3 warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm, a 5th-rank family must have 3 warriors of the Eternal Realm, and a 6th-rank family must have 3 warriors of the Noble Lord Realm. This was the basic requirement. Usually, 5th-rank families would have warriors of the Noble Lord Realm. The 3 royal families, the Bai family and the Yu family, all had Noble Lord Realm warriors. It was just that there were not enough for 3. Although the Du family was only a 6th-rank clan, the clan leader was at the Renhuang Plain. Therefore, no force in the northern desert dared to offend the Du family. The heaven-punishing auction house of the Du family easily opened to all the big cities in the northern desert. The Du family owned many auction houses in the northern desert. Such a large business, of course, needed a powerful warrior to hold the fort. The chief steward of the Du family here was Du Zifeng, a warrior at the peak of the Noble Lord Realm. He was recognized as the 2nd most powerful warrior of the northern desert, more powerful than the Old Man of Heaven Prison. Du family, very good Du family. Madame Yen gritted her teeth and shouted. The temple would not do anything. The 3 royal family patriarchs and Yu Huashan could not kill the Old Man of Heaven Prison. The only explanation was that Du Zifeng, the northern desert chief steward of the Du family, was involved. It's over, however, Autumn Snow did not think of revenge. Instead, she slumped weakly on the chair, repeatedly muttering these 2 words. Her very soul began to tremble. She was very afraid. It was not that she was afraid of death. She was afraid that everyone in the Bai family would be killed, and the Thousand Island Lake would be bathed in blood. The Thousand Island Lake was the shame of the three kingdoms. As long as the Thousand Island Lake existed, the three royal families would be disgraced. Without the Old Man of Heaven prison and by Shi's death, the Thousand Island Lake no longer had the strength to fight against the three royal families. Not long afterward, the armies of the three royal families would swarm into the Thousand Island Lake and dye the clear water red. Run! The Thousand Island Lake was located in the middle of the three kingdoms. It was almost impossible to run away. All the disciples of the Bai family would die, and they would be torn apart by the three royal families. The three royal families and the Yu family would not let a single disciple of the Bai family escape. They would cut the weeds and wipe out the root. Report! Another shout came from the distance. A team leader rushed over like a gust of wind. He got down on one knee and said, "Madam, Lordling asked you to make arrangements for your funeral. Do it now. In less than 10 days, the armies of the three royal families will arrive." "Got it. Off you go." Madame Yen waved her hand helplessly. She seemed to have lost her soul. She abruptly rubbed her face, causing her hair to become a little messy. She took a deep breath and said, "Bai Ding, pass down my order. Now, I will take over the entire Bai family and start the Hidden Dragon plan." Any big family would have a way of retreat. At least, they would preserve some hope so that the family would not be wiped out. They would send some elite disciples away, and take away some wealth and mystical materials. The Hidden Dragon plan was an evacuation plan. Someone, send a message to Xiaoshuang to come back. Seal off the Bai Emperor Mountain. Seal off the Heaven Prison City. Only people can enter but not leave. Seal off all information. Madame Yen pulled herself together and began to give out orders calmly. As the fourth most important person of the Bai family, Madame Yen knew clearly that she could not panic or feel sad. Every order she gave could save the lives of many people of the Bai family. Hidden Dragon Plan? Bai Qiushue had been with the Old Man of Heaven prison, so she knew about the plan. Tears slid down from her eyes and a bitter smile appeared on her face. The Hidden Dragon plan was for the disciples of the Bai family to sneak into a small world in the Thousand Island Lake and then seal off the small world. As long as the passageway connected to the small world was destroyed in some special way, people from the outside would not be able to get in. Similarly, the people of the Bai family would never be able to get out, unless a heaven-defying powerhouse appeared and refined that small world. Would it be possible for a powerful warrior to come out of the small world if there was a lack of mystical materials in the small world? Bai Qiushue's eyes dimmed down. She would rather die a heroic death than to drag out an ignoble existence in the small world. Whoosh! At the God-Down City, a man flew towards the backyard of the Lu mansion like a ghost. He was wearing a ghost mask and his movements were unpredictable. He looked no different from a ghost. Bang! He directly pushed open a door. Lu Li, who was cultivating inside, woke up in shock. Lu Li and Ming Yu looked at each other. Lu Li's heart sank. He asked, "Ming Yu, what is it?" Ming Yu's tone was unprecedentedly solemn. He quickly said, "Something big has happened. Young master, we must leave the Thousand Island Lake as soon as possible." Lu Li raised his eyebrows and asked, "Tell me more details, and as soon as possible, how soon?" "The Old Man of Heaven prison is dead and so is Bai Shi. In 10 days at most, the armies of the three kingdoms will attack the Thousand Island Lake." Ming Yu didn't go into specifics, just some simple words. He thought about it and said, "I will go out for a bit. Make some arrangements. In 3 days we will leave the Thousand Island Lake and go to the Central Plains." "They are all dead?" Lu Li was shocked. He thought about it and asked, 3 days? How many can you take with you? Can you take all of the Lu family?" "No." Ming Yu said with certainty, "I can take 2 or 3 at most. Otherwise, we will not be able to leave. Young master, you make the arrangements. I will go and take care of my own business." With that said, Mingyu turned into a ghost and flew away. Lu Li frowned. It didn't matter to him if he left sooner or later. He could just leave, but what about the Lu family? 10 days? 10 days is too short. Lu Li sighed. The time was too short. How nice it would be if he had more than half a month. By then, Yi Cha and the others would have come out from closed-door cultivation. Even if the armies of the 3 royal families were here, Lu Li could still protect the God-Down Island. Now, if Mingyu were to stay, he would be torn into pieces by the armies of the 3 royal families. Chapter 262. In just half a day, the news inevitably spread out. Madame Yen could not stop it even if she wanted to. Except for Bai Lung and a few others, all the experts who had entered the Ghost Valley had died. However, not all of the 10,000 warriors who had gone to the Yu Emperor City had died. Of course, they weren't far from death. Countless martial experts from the 3 kingdoms were chasing after them. It was estimated that more than half of them had already been killed. Many martial artists used special methods to send messages back to their clans, so that their clans could make early arrangements for their funeral and send out the highest level of warnings. The entire Thousand Island Lake was in chaos. Many patriarchs tried to teleport to the Heaven Prison City only to find that they could not. There were only 2 possibilities. One was that the teleportation formation was broken, and the other was that the Heaven Prison City's teleportation formation was closed. No matter what the reason was, it meant that something big had happened. All the families panicked, and all kinds of rumors and bad news spread everywhere. Countless people were on tenterhooks and didn't know what to do. Those who could come to the Thousand Island Lake were those who could not survive outside. Many families had been entrenched at the Thousand Island Lake for many years. They had established their roots here, and never wanted to leave the Thousand Island Lake. Besides, where could he go even if he wanted to escape? The 3 royal families hated the Thousand Island Lake to their bones. All the major families must have been blacklisted. Even if they could escape from the Thousand Island Lake, they would still be surrounded and killed. There was no message from the Bai family. The families of the Thousand Island Lake were without a leader. The families around the Heaven Prison Island immediately rushed to the Heaven Prison City to meet the Bai family. The Heaven Prison City was still old and majestic. The 2 characters, Heaven Prison, on the city gate were vigorous and powerful. The troops of the Bai family were still standing on the city wall. The Heaven Prison City was not lost, but the city was sealed. Only people could enter, but not leave. Some families sent scouts in and obtained some information, but if they dared to go out, they would be killed immediately. Patriarchs of a few 4th-rank families went to the foot of the Bai Emperor Mountain together to see Madame Yen. However, not only was Bai Emperor Mountain locked down, but there was also a great formation that covered the entire Bai Emperor Mountain. Not even a mosquito could get in. The great mountain defense formation of the Bai family had been built for many years. It was set up by the old man of Heaven Prison. Its defensive power was very strong. However, it had never been opened for so many years. Now that it was opened, it meant that the worst situation had occurred. The fact that the old man of Heaven Prison and Bai Shi were killed was almost certain. The Bai family could barely take care of themselves. All the other families knew that it was impossible to rely on the Bai family, so they could only save themselves. How could he save himself? Many patriarchs of the families that stayed behind were about to cry. This time, 70% of the powerful warriors of the Thousand Island Lake went out. They thought they could make a fortune. Little did they know that the powerful warriors of the Thousand Island Lake were trapped. The God-Down Island also panicked. Lu Yi and Patriarch 9 found Lu Li at once. Payan and the island owners of the 3rd-rank islands were here as well. Now, Lu Li was their backbone. If Lu Li couldn't do anything, then everyone would have to wait for death. The old man of Heaven Prison is dead and so is Bai Shi. The armies of the 3 royal families will attack the Thousand Island Lake in 10 days. It's no use looking for me. Run for your lives. No one can resist. When Luli met Payan and the others, he left behind some words and went to the backyard with Lu-E and Patriarch 9. Luli couldn't care less about the lives of Payan and the others, nor did he want to. However, he had to take care of the Lu family. He was pacing back and forth in a hall in the backyard. All the warriors of the Spirit Sea realm of the Lu family were standing there in silence, waiting for Lu-Li's orders. After the time for half an incense stick to burn, Lu-Li made up his mind and asked, "How many people are there in the Lu family?" "The internal clan." Lu-E and Patriarch 9 looked at each other and calculated. Soon, Lu-E said, "The Lu family has more than 2,000 people including females. There are more than 3,000 in the external clan. Altogether, there are more than 5,000. Forget about the external clan." Lu-Li thought about it and said, "Later, you send out battleships to go around and secretly move the internal clan warriors of the Lu family to the Blood Evil Island and then to the Earth Dragon Island. Remember, this must be kept a secret. If anyone else gets wind of this, none of the Lu family will survive." To the Earth Dragon Island? Lu-E and the others were surprised. What was the Earth Dragon Island for? Shouldn't they be trying to get out of the Thousand Island Lake? Don't overthink, don't ask and don't hesitate. Lu-Li glanced over to the patriarchs of the Spirit Sea realm of the Lu family coldly and said, "You only need to carry out my orders. I am warning you again. If you listen to me, the Lu family can be saved. If you don't, then do as you please. I will leave the Thousand Island Lake by myself." "Don't." Lu-E panicked. She looked at the patriarchs and said, "What are you waiting for? Carry out the island owner's orders now." Patriarch 9 echoed, "I will kill anyone who dares to disobey the island owner's orders myself. I will kill anyone who dares to leak the information." Yes. The patriarchs of the Lu family accepted the order, and they felt more at ease. The other families didn't know what to do. The Lu family was fine. With Lu-Li holding the fort, they didn't have to think too much. They just had to follow Lu-Li wholeheartedly. Lu-E left with a group of people and started to plan how to secretly send the Lu family warriors to the Earth Dragon Island. Lu-Li had made it clear that no information could be leaked or the Lu family would be doomed. Lu-Li planned to send the Lu family warriors into the small world. He had stayed with the Lu family for such a long time. Even a dog would have feelings for him. Therefore, he could not leave the Lu family alone. The small world would be safe for the time being. The armies of the three kingdoms wouldn't have time to worry about it. When the armies occupied the Bai Emperor Mountain, they would come and look for the Lu family warriors. Yicha and the others had all made breakthroughs, so there was no need to be afraid of them. There were 5 noble Lord Realm warriors and the Mammoth race in the small world. The Cyan Phoenix race was the fastest race in the world. The powerful warriors of the 3 royal families might not be able to gain the upper hand. Soon, the Lu family became busy. The God-down city was in chaos. Lu-Li couldn't manage them, so the other families had to save themselves. Nobody blamed Lu-Li. After all, he was relying on the Bai family. The Bai family couldn't even take care of themselves now. They couldn't count on anyone but themselves. Some families had started to prepare to escape. They wanted to sneak out of the Thousand Island Lake as soon as possible before the armies of the 3 kingdoms surrounded them. There were also families that contacted the great families of the 3 kingdoms, begging for their protection. If they had the protection of the big families, they could easily get out of the Thousand Island Lake. They would be completely safe once they entered the sphere of influence of the big families. The families by the lake were having a better time because they had been in touch with the outside world. They had dealings and friendships with the forces around the Thousand Island Lake. They spent some Xian crystals and sent their elite disciples away in secret. The families that escaped were not so lucky. Scouts were everywhere outside the Thousand Island Lake. Armies were stationed in many places. 3 third-rank families that escaped had all been killed. By the afternoon of the next day, the news was confirmed. The three royal families had given the order. Many armies were gathered outside the Thousand Island Lake. The entire Thousand Island Lake was surrounded. Only death awaited those who tried to escape. Chapter 263. There was no way out. After a short period of panic, warriors of the Thousand Island Lake became united against a common enemy. Since he couldn't escape, he would fight to the death. He would drag as many people as he could to the grave with him. All the patriarchs of the fourth-rank families went to the Bai Emperor Mountain. They were ready to meet Madame Yen again to discuss how to deal with the enemy. The mountain defense formation of the Bai Emperor Mountain was finally opened. Madame Yen let the patriarchs of the rank 4 families go up the mountain. Since she got the news, Madame Yen had not rested for 2 hours. Her pretty face was full of fatigue. Bai Qiuxue and Bai Xiaoshuang, who were standing beside her, also looked sad, as if they had lost their souls. In 2 days, Madame Yen had carried out the hidden dragon plan perfectly. The outside world didn't even know about it. Many elite disciples and countless riches were sent to that small world. The rest of the people didn't want to leave. They wanted to live and die with the Bai Emperor Mountain. Bai Qiuxue and Bai Xiaoshuang were 2 of them. Madame Yen tried to persuade him many times. She almost had someone tie him up and send him in. Seeing the determination in Bai Qiushue's eyes, Madame Yen did not dare to act recklessly. She knew that if she did not leave, the 2 sisters would not leave. She could only wait until the very last moment to escape with the 2 sisters when she couldn't hold on any longer. My ancestor is dead, Uncle Shi is dead, and I don't know if Brother Ling will be able to return. Even if he can come back, it won't mean much. Looking at the patriarchs of the fourth-rank families, Madame Yen didn't hide anything. She said honestly, according to Brother Ling's information and our speculation, the 3 royal families and several fifth-rank families all sent out noble Lord Realm warriors for the Haunted Hollow. There are 9 noble Lord Realm warriors and 1 mysterious powerful warrior. If I am right, it should be Duzheng. The 10 noble Lord Realm warriors are ambushing our forefather and Uncle Shi in the Haunted Hollow. Forefather fought against 7 warriors of the noble Lord Realm on his own. He killed the Yi family patriarch of the Heaven Cold Kingdom, destroyed the bead of life of a noble Lord Realm warrior of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom, wounded 2 warriors, and finally killed him. Uncle Shi died together with a noble Lord Realm warrior who was on good terms with the Z family patriarch. Uncle Ling killed 6 warriors of the Eternal Realm, lost an arm and escaped just to warn us. Hiss hiss, the group of patriarchs gasped. Madame Yan's short words brought up many tragic scenes in their minds. They felt like they were witnessing the earth-shattering battle in the Haunted Hollow. The monarch of the Tianliang Kingdom, the head of the Yi clan, was killed, destroying the bead of life of a noble Lord Realm warrior. Did Bai Shi drag a noble Lord Realm warrior down with him? The old man of Heaven Prison and Bai Shi could achieve such a glorious result when they were ambushed by 10 noble Lord Realm warriors. It was appalling. It was a glorious death. The Yi family patriarch of the Heaven Cold Kingdom, Yi Yuhan's grandfather, was a powerful warrior at the peak of the noble Lord Realm. One of the 3 overlords of the northern desert was killed by the old man of Heaven Prison. At this moment, the entire Tianliang Kingdom was probably in chaos, right? Could the Yi clan still maintain their position as the royal clan without such a peerless master? Of course. That was the Heavenly Cold Kingdom's own matter, and the group of elders quickly stopped thinking about it. There were no warriors of the noble Lord Realm at the Thousand Island Lake. Bai Shi's life wouldn't mean much. Any 2 noble Lord Realm warriors of the 3 kingdoms could wipe out the Thousand Island Lake. Therefore, there was no suspense this time. It all depended on how long they could last and how many warriors of the allied forces of the 3 kingdoms could die. Madame Yen paused for a bit and said, "You families get ready. I will send 100 elite disciples of each family away secretly. The rest of you will stay with me and defend the Bai Emperor Mountain. The eyes of the family patriarchs and patriarchs glowed. The Bai family had dominated the Thousand-Island Lake for more than 2,000 years. They must have prepared a way out. Granted, only 100 disciples could be taken away, but the Bai family wouldn't be wiped out. The family patriarchs and patriarchs left to send the message and make arrangements. Then, they discussed with Madame Yen for half the night before they left in a hurry. At midnight, Lu Li set off for the Earth Dragon Island. In 2 days, the Lu family had secretly sent all the disciples they wanted to take away to the Earth Dragon Island. Mingyu would be back tomorrow. Naturally, Lu Li had to take action. He didn't let the Lu family warriors go down the volcano right away. Instead, he went down with Hunchback Tian. He asked Hunchback Tian to guard outside while he teleported into the small world by himself. "Greetings, Saint Lord." There were 2 warriors guarding the teleportation inhibition formation, both at the peak of the Fate Wheel realm. Lu Li nodded and asked, "Has family patriarch Yi come out from his cultivation?" "Yes." The 2 warriors of the Cyan Phoenix race nodded. One of them said with excitement, "Thank you, Saint Lord. Our family patriarch has finally reached the Noble Lord realm." "Good." Lu Li smiled. He was in a better mood. He asked again, "How about the others?" "Not yet." That warrior shook his head and added, "But they should be soon. In 10 days or half a month at most. Send a message for family patriarch Yi to come over. I have something to discuss with him." Lu Li decided not to go to the tribe. It would be a waste of time to go there and back. He could ask Yi Cha to come over. He was fast after all. One of them took out a jade talisman, crushed it and said, "Saint Lord, please take a seat. Our family patriarch will be here soon." Lu Li walked to some bushes on the side and sat down to rest. In the time for just over 1 incense stick to burn, there came a slight noise from the distance. Then a ghost flew over and condensed in front of Lu Li. Who else could it be but Yi Cha? "Saint Lord." Yi Cha bowed to Lu Li with a glowing face. Lu Li was in a good mood. He nodded and said, "Congratulations, family patriarch Yi, for reaching the Noble Lord realm." Yi Cha was grateful. He bowed again and said, "It is all thanks to you, Saint Lord." Yi Cha is grateful. "Okay, let's cut the pleasantries. Something happened out there, and I need to tell you," Lu Li said seriously. Yi Cha became solemn. He waved his hand to let the 2 warriors leave and asked, "Saint Lord, what is it? Tell me." "Tomorrow, I will leave the Thousand-Island Lake for the Central Plains." Lu Li told Yi Cha everything that had happened recently. He didn't even hide Mingyu. He even told Yi Cha about the relationship between Mingyu and his father. In the end, Lu Li asked, "Is it okay for me to put the Lu family warriors here? Will I get you into trouble?" "Trouble?" Yi Cha smiled proudly and said, "Saint Lord, you have underestimated the Cyan Phoenix race. We are the fastest race at the Central Plains, second to none. More than half of the disciples of the immediate Cyan Phoenix race can awaken a bloodline. Do you know what rank it is?" Lu Li was surprised and asked, "What rank?" Yi Cha smiled lightly and said, "8th rank bloodline. 8th rank bloodline. When we use our bloodline skill, we can be 10 times faster. In other words, not even warriors at the initial stage of the human sovereign realm can compete with me. Do you think these noble Lord realm warriors of the northern desert can kill me?" But Lu Li was moved. He knew the Cyan Phoenix race was strong, but he didn't know it was this strong. Lu Li thought about it and said, "Clan leader Yi, even though speed is a part of fighting ability, but to reach your level, you have to look at profound meaning, right? Do you have the confidence to fight a warrior at the peak of the Noble Lord realm?" "Ha ha ha!" Yi Cha laughed out loud. A surge of horrifying chi and energy came out from him. He said with mockery, "I, Yi Cha, really don't think highly of these good-for-nothings of the northern desert. Profound meaning? Do you think the Cyan Phoenix race doesn't cultivate profound meanings? To tell you the truth, I learned profound meaning more than 100 years ago. With my profound meaning and 8th rank bloodline, 100 years ago, I was confident that I could defeat average warriors of the noble lord realm who didn't learn profound meaning. So. Chapter 264. Why hasn't he come out yet? Luli had been in there for more than 4 hours. It should be daybreak outside, but he still hadn't come out. Hunchback Tian had a headache. Mingyu could come back at any time. If he could not find Luli at the Goddown City, he might come to the Blood Evil Island and go down to the volcano to look for him. Time moved on. 2 hours later, there was finally some movement in the underground lake. Luli flew out from the lake and went into the tunnel. How is it, master? Hunchback Tian asked. Luli waved his hand and said, Let's go up first. The two rushed towards the volcano. Luli went up and arrived outside the temporary residence. Looking at the thousands of Lu family warriors, he said, Okay, let's go to the Blood Evil Island now. Stay in the Blood Evil Fortress. I will take care of everything. Back to the Blood Evil Island? Lu Yi and the others were confused. Since they were going to the Blood Evil Island, why did they have to go back and forth? In the beginning, they went to the Blood Evil Island first and then sneaked into the Earth Dragon Island. Now, they were asked to go back? There were so many old, weak women and children. Go, go! Lu Yi never doubted Lu Li's decision. She arranged for the Lu family to go to the Blood Evil Island at once. Luckily, this place was not far from the Blood Evil Island. It could be arranged in 2 hours top. Master, what are you? Hunchback Tian was confused. What was Lu Li trying to do? Why didn't he arrange for the Lu family to go to the small world? Don't ask so many questions. You go to the Blood Evil Fortress as well. Take this jade talisman. If there is anything you cannot handle, just crush it. Lu Li handed over a warning jade talisman. Seeing that Hunchback Tian was about to ask, Lu Li waved his hand and said, Just go. Trust me. Unless I'm dead, nothing will happen to you guys. Also, ask Patriarch 9 to send someone to the Goddown City. When Mingyu comes back, tell him to come and see me. Okay. Hunchback Tian looked at the volcano, deep in thought. He snuck towards the Blood Evil Island. Lu Li went to the temporary residence at the Earth Dragon Island by himself. Lu Li changed his mind. After chatting with Yi Cha for several hours, he decided not to send the Lu family into the small world. Firstly, he did not want to expose the small world. Secondly, there were many old, weak women and children in the Lu family. It would be troublesome to go to the underground lake. What if they drowned? What about safety? Lu Li didn't have to worry. Yi Cha made it clear that he alone could guarantee their safety. Lu Li chose to believe Yi Cha. Xiao. Mingyu arrived at Lu Li's temporary imperial residence in 6 hours. Seeing that Lu Li was cultivating in the temporary imperial residence by himself, he asked in confusion, Young master, why are you doing this? Mingyu had made some inquiries before he came. He knew that Lu Li wanted to settle down the Lu family, but he didn't understand what Lu Li was planning. Lu Li opened his eyes and said, I don't want to leave now. If things go wrong, you can take me away at any time, right? Wrong. Mingyu said with certainty, Young master, I'm not sure. If Yu Huashan is here, I can take you away. However, if the King of the Heaven Martial Kingdom or the King of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom were here, it would be difficult for me to escape. If Du Jing had come, I would have been killed in one move. Lu Li put on a solemn expression. After some thoughts he said, Don't worry. I have a backup plan. If the situation isn't right, you can leave first. But Mingyu's eyes were flickering under the ghost mask. He looked at Lu Li, who was calm and couldn't figure it out. What backup plan did Lu Li have? How could he fight against a powerful warrior of the noble lord realm? All right. Mingyu finally compromised. Lu Li was the master and he was the servant. Since Lu Li insisted on staying, Mingyu couldn't say much. Of course, if things went wrong, Mingyu wouldn't listen to Luli anymore. He would knock him out and take him away by force. As time went on, the Thousand Island Lake was getting more and more chaotic. The teleportation formation at the Heaven Prison City was opened. Many people were teleported in. All the warriors of the 4th rank families were here. Many 3rd rank families were here as well. The teleportation formation was glowing all the time. Batches of people were teleported in and then arranged to leave the city to the mountains behind the Bai Emperor Mountain. There were no houses in the mountains. There was no place for so many people to settle down. They had to live in temporary caves. Many forces and families of the Thousand Island Lake wanted to use this place as their final battlefield. If the Bai Emperor Mountain was breached, then everyone here would die with the Bai Emperor Mountain. The entire Thousand Island Lake was surrounded. There was no way out. They were going to die anyway. They might as well fight a spectacular battle. Surrender? Many families didn't even think about surrendering. They knew how much the 3 royal families hated the Thousand Island Lake. Surrendering would only lead to a more miserable ending. Of course, some families had other plans. They wanted to take advantage of the chaos to run away when the war broke out. By then, the 3 royal families would have their eyes on the Bai Emperor Mountain. Small families like theirs might be able to escape with their lives. The Heaven Punishing Auction House in the Heaven Prison City was closely monitored even though there was no evidence that Du Jing was involved. Madame Yen decided to be careful. If there was any abnormal movement at the auction house, a warrior of the Eternal Realm hiding would kill all the warriors at the auction house at once. Time passed on bit by bit. The information from the scouts was getting worse. Almost all the 10,000 warriors of the Soul Pond Realm that attacked the Yu Emperor City were killed. The rest were hunted down like stray dogs. Bai Lung was missing. He went missing in the Heaven Martial Kingdom with 5 warriors of the Eternal Realm. The scouts couldn't find any information. They didn't send back any messages either. They might have found a place to hide, or they had been killed by the powerful warriors of the Z family. More and more warriors were gathering outside the Thousand Island Lake. There were more than 100,000 warriors, and the weakest among them was at the Spirit Sea realm. The warriors were from the families of the 3 kingdoms. They were going to burn, kill and loot at the Thousand Island Lake. Many girls of the Thousand Island Lake were in fear. They cried every day. Many of them even had the urge to commit suicide. When they thought about the armies of the 3 countries charging in and the hundreds of thousands of warriors charging into the islands like tigers and wolves, they would all be raped and humiliated. Many women felt that it was better to die. It was the 10th day. The armies of the 3 kingdoms moved. They entered the Thousand Island Lake from all sides. Many wooden ships, battleships and iron-armored ships covered the ground and entered the Thousand Island Lake. More than 200,000 warriors were divided into more than a dozen groups and rushed into the Thousand Island Lake from several directions. Due to the large number of warriors, nobody could tell how many powerful warriors were there. How many warriors of the Fate-Will Realm or the Eternal Realm were there, and how many Noble Lord Realm warriors were there, nobody knew. The islands at the periphery of the Thousand Island Lake were in trouble. With so many warriors, military discipline could not be restrained. Or the commanders-in-chief of the 3 kingdoms never intended to restrain them. Many people were killed in an instant. Many girls were raped and robbed. Their wealth was looted. None of the warriors from several islands survived. Report: many families and forces gathered in the God-Down City. Warriors from the nearby 3rd rank and 2nd rank islands all came to the God-Down City, ready to fight to the death. Luli was not in the city. Payan became the leader. The island owners of the Killer's Island, Devil Island, Black Fox Island and Ferocious Tiger Island were all sitting in the main hall of the Sioux family compound, listening to the scouts' report. "Reporting to my lords," the scout said in a deep voice, "there are more than 100 ships coming from the northwest. The iron-armored ships at the front have the flag of the Yu family. The iron-armored ships will arrive at the Goddown Island in 6 hours at most. You family? Chapter 265. The hall was silent. No one knew what to do. The Yu family army was coming. Even if 1 or 2 warriors of the Eternal Realm came, who could survive, let alone Yu Huashan? After a while, Payan asked, "Where is Island Lord Lu?" The Pei family scout thought about it and said, "He should still be at the Blood Evil Island. All the warriors of the Blood Evil Island have gone back. Island owner Lu should be there." Humph. The island owner of the Island of Demons snorted and said, "It's no use looking for him. He can only kill a few warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm at most. The Yu family has warriors of the Eternal Realm. This time, at least 2 or 3 imperishable realm martial artists will come. Don't count on him, he doesn't plan on caring about us." "That's right," an elder replied coldly. "Count on him? He might as well hope for Island Master Su to revive. He was nothing. He was just relying on Hunchback Tian. Did he really think that he could kill warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm? A bastard who has just reached the Soul Pond Realm hooked up with a young lady of the Bai family. Bah! Yes, he's a piece of trash that lives off a woman." A few martial artists, who were clearly on the side of the Su family, spoke up. At this moment, everyone was about to die, so they had no more scruples. The others said nothing. After the incident, Lu Li met with them and told them to run for their lives. There was no point in talking to Lu Li now, and no one was counting on him. "What are you all waiting for?" The Island Lord of 7 Killers Island bellowed furiously. "Immediately arrange for scouts to scout the surroundings and find an opportunity to kill some trash. After that, find an opportunity to escape. What's the use of thinking so much? If I die, then so be it. 18 years later, I'll be a hero again." "Yes." Many people chimed in. Payan nodded and said, "Then everyone, go back and gather your men. We'll gather at the pier later. I'll arrange for scouts to immediately gather information and look for opportunities to kill our way out." Everyone went out and returned to their temporary residences. They brought their subordinates and clansmen out of the city and gathered at the docks. Payan also brought the warriors of the family to the pier. Outside the pier, there were at least 100 or 200 warships. All the forces on the Goddown Island, big and small, were ready to find a chance to fight their way out. It would be best if they could rush out of the Thousand Island Lake. If not, they would kill as many as they could. As for the old, weak women and children of the various families, they were all left in the Goddown City. They couldn't take it with them. If they followed them, they would all die. Report: the iron-armored ship of the Yu family is 1,000 miles away. It will arrive in half an hour. Report: there are 30 ships coming from the direction of the Sundown Island. There are 1,000 or 2,000 warriors on board. 4 of them are at the Fate Wheel Realm. Report: there are 40 ships coming from the direction of Killer's Island. Report: Tiger Island. The top-notch scouts of the various forces were all spread out to investigate the situation of the invading enemies and look for opportunities to break out of the encirclement. However, none of the news that came was good, because there were large armies in several directions. They were all led by several powerful warriors at the Fate Wheel Realm. They couldn't break out of the encirclement and they couldn't even kill too many of them. As time went by, the iron-armored ships of the Yu family were getting closer and closer. If they didn't choose a route now, they might encounter the Yu family in the end. Any warrior of the Eternal Realm from the Yu family could kill all the island owners and family patriarchs in an instant. Forget it. People of the Killer's Island, listen up. Get on the ships and fight to the east. The island owner of the Killer's Island was enraged. Waiting here was not a solution. They might as well fight to the death. As the Killer's Island took action, the other island owners couldn't sit still anymore. They all ordered their subordinates or family members to get on the ships and get ready to fight in any direction. "Let's kill them," Payan sighed. He waved his hand and asked the Pei family to take action. There was no suitable opportunity. They couldn't break out of the encirclement no matter which direction they chose. They had to fight to the end. Kill as many as they could and escape as many as they could. Report. Right at that moment, a scout flew over with an eagle in his hand and shouted, "There is a mysterious, powerful warrior at the Killer's Island. He killed 3 warriors at the Fate Wheel Realm on his own. I think all the invading enemies have been killed by him." Ah! Payan and the others looked at each other in surprise. They couldn't believe it. Payan thought for a while. His eyes glowed as he asked, "Is that man wearing a ghost mask?" Many people's eyes glowed. There was a mysterious, powerful warrior with Luli. Even though they didn't know his realm, they could tell he was powerful, at least at the Fate Wheel realm. No! The scout's report confused them. The scout said, "The message didn't say he was wearing a mask. It only said that the man moved like a ghost and we couldn't see him clearly. He used 2 black hooks and his face looked blurry. 3 warriors of the Fate Wheel realm were killed by him in one move. He hooked them to death with his hooks." Everyone was shocked. Only warriors of the Eternal Realm could kill warriors of the Fate Wheel realm so easily. But at the Thousand Island Lake, they had never heard of warriors of the Eternal Realm using hooks as weapons. "Come back now." Payan flew back from the battleship and said to the scout, "Tell our brothers to keep searching. Report back as soon as they find anything." Everyone went ashore. Their eyes were filled with excitement. Was there going to be a miracle? If all the powerful warriors of the Yu family were killed, then they would have a chance to escape. Everyone continued to wait anxiously. 2 hours later, a giant goshawk flew over. The scout of the Pei family received the intelligence report and said with joy, "There is a message from the Sundown Island. All the enemies over there have been killed. It is a mysterious, powerful warrior with a hook. His face is blurry. He is conservatively at the Eternal Realm." So fast, Payan and the others were shocked. The Killer's Island was not close to the Sundown Island. This man went to the Sundown Island immediately after he started a killing spree at the Killer's Island? We are saved. Maybe all of us are saved. Payan was so excited that his beard was trembling. The other island owners and family patriarchs were restless. Now, it all depended on whether the mysterious powerful warrior could kill or defeat the powerful warriors of the Yu family. On this thought, Payan asked in a hurry, "Where are the iron-armored ships of the Yu family?" The scout thought about it and answered, "They should be arriving at the Blood Evil Island soon." Blood Evil Island? Many looked at each other with a mocking smile. Did Luli think he would be safe at the Blood Evil Island? He was going to die earlier than them. Scouts kept coming back from the Blood Evil Island. However, the scouts sent out by the Lu family only covered an area with a radius of 30 miles. The Lu family didn't have many people. Bang! Right at that moment, the jade talisman in Lu Yi's hand suddenly exploded. A glint of coldness flickered in her eyes and she said, "Lu 19 is dead. The enemies are here. Go and report to the island owner." A group of scouts rushed out. As soon as they left, a loud and clear voice came from outside, "No need to report. I am here." Lu Yi and the others stood up and walked to the door. They saw Luli walking in with 2 men. One of them was familiar to them. It was Mingyu with the ghost mask. The other one was mysterious. His face was blurry. They couldn't tell what he looked like. Patriarch 9 and the others tried to sense the chi and energy of the mysterious man but couldn't. Also, they had a strange feeling that this man was powerful, much more powerful than Mingyu with the ghost mask. Finally, they are out. Hunchback Tian smiled and murmured in a voice that only he could hear. Luli immediately sat on the host's seat. He looked at the mysterious man and said, "Go and capture the leader of the Yu family. Kill the rest." The mysterious man didn't say anything. He disappeared in an instant as if he had evaporated on the spot. His speed was frighteningly fast. Ming Yu's eyes glowed. He looked at Luli. He suddenly realized he couldn't understand this young master. Sensing Ming Yu's look, Lu Li turned around and said in a low voice, "I know what you want to ask. But I cannot tell you now. All I can say is, even if Yu Huashan is here, he can kill him easily. P.S. Today I don't ask for monthly vote. I asked someone to get a painting of the Heaven Prison City. It matched the image in the old monster's mind. It was like an alien world. In the future, I will draw pictures of Lu Li, Lu Ling, by Qiuxuan and by Xiaoshuang. If you want to see it, you can go to the WeChat official account. Open WeChat and search for the official account, Devilish Knight or WeChat message Yaoya 588. I will send it at 5:30 this afternoon. If you are late, you can check the history. If you have any suggestions or opinions, you can send a message to the old monster. There will be some activities later. Chapter 266. The sky was clear and the lake water was clear. Fish were swimming around happily. The breeze was gentle and the willow leaves were falling. The lake area near the Blood Evil Island was beautiful and quiet. Swish, swish, soon, the tranquility was broken. From the distance, a huge iron-armored ship tore apart the space and flew over. On the iron-armored ship stood hundreds of warriors in black armors with weapons in their hands. They were filled with killing intent, which ruined the tranquility. At the front of the group stood a skinny old man. He had a pair of rat-like eyes and a goatee. His eyes were squinting, which made them look smaller. He stared at the small island in front of him with a smile on his face. When the people nearby saw the smile on his face, they felt a chill run down their spines. The most horrifying thing at the Yu family was Yu Huashan's bulging eyes and Yu Luan, the think tank of the Yu family, smiling like this. The Blood Evil Island was right in front of them. The scouts of the Yu family had found out that Lu Li and the Lu family were all on the Blood Evil Island. Even though Yu Luan didn't know why Lu Li didn't run away and why he was waiting for death at the Blood Evil Island, he knew that Lu Li and the Lu family were about to die. The old man of Heaven Prison and Bai Shi were about to die. Nobody could stop him from killing Lu Li and destroying the Blood Evil Island. Lu Li. This was the shame of Yu Luan's life. He was the culprit that disgraced the Yu family. Today, he would wash away this shame on behalf of himself and the Yu family. He would make the Yu family proud again at the northern desert. How should I kill Lu Li later? Yu Luan thought of hundreds of ways to die. The smile on his face was getting brighter. Whoosh! A noise came from the left, interrupting Yu Luan's thoughts. A warrior flew out from the sea and landed on the iron-armored ship. He got down on one knee, looked at Yu Luan and said, "Lord Lu, something is wrong. All the warriors of the Killers of Seven Island were killed." What? The powerful warriors of the Yu family changed their expressions. Even though they were not from the Yu family, there were several warriors of the Fate Wheel realm leading the team. Who could kill them? Did Lu Li and Hunchback Tian go there? Whoosh! Before they could digest the shocking news, another scout rushed over from the right. He boarded the iron-armored ship and immediately reported, "Lord Lu, the Sundown Island was wiped out." The smile on Yu Luan's face froze. He and the other two Eternal Realm warriors of the Yu family looked at each other with a hint of seriousness in their eyes. Was there a powerful warrior of the Eternal Realm on the God-Down Island? Hiss! A slight, air-piercing noise came from the front. Yu Luan and the powerful warriors of the Yu family felt their hearts sink. More bad news? Everyone looked ahead and saw a gust of wind drifting over. Next, a figure condensed on the surface of the lake in front of them. This person actually looked like a willow leaf floating in the water. Enemy attack! All the warriors of the Yu family acted as if they were facing a great enemy. The person who came was too fast, so fast that many people did not know when he appeared. Yu Luan and the other two also took out their weapons. One of them even had his lower abdomen lit up, ready to release his fate wheel. Hundreds of pairs of eyes locked onto the mysterious person who had just arrived. The reason why they called it a mysterious person was because this person's face could not be seen clearly. Even when Yu Luan and the other two used their psychic power to check, they could only see a blur. Yu Luan forced himself to calm down. He looked at the mysterious person and asked, "Who are you?" The mysterious person spoke. His voice was hoarse and low, clearly not the original voice. "It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is that you are all going to die. The moment you offended Luli, the Yu family was doomed to perish." "Luli?" Yu Luan squinted even more. He stepped back, waved his hand and said, "Kill him!" Whoosh, 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 hundreds of warriors of the Yu family flew down from the iron-armored ship. Many warriors of the Soul Pond realm and the Fate Wheel realm released their Xian energy. This time, the warriors sent by the Yu family were at least at the Soul Pond realm. Hundreds of streaks of brilliant Xian energy pierced through the sky, tearing the space apart. Buzzing, buzzing. More than a dozen fate wheels were released and smashed at the mysterious person together with the sword and saber lights. If this person didn't dodge or couldn't dodge, he would be crushed into dust by the Xian energy and fate wheels. Swish, swish, with a flash, the mysterious person seemed to have disappeared on the spot. He turned into a gust of wind and moved around in the dense Xian energy being released. 2 golden hooks appeared in his hands. He waved them in the air, making a shrill noise as if he was cutting open the entire space. Bang, bang, bang! Several muffled sounds came out. Several warriors of the Fate Wheel realm suddenly cried out in pain. Blood gushed out from their mouths and they fell down in midair. Hao Yu Luan and the other 2 warriors of the Eternal Realm were shocked as if they had seen a ghost. Average warriors couldn't tell, but the 3 of them could clearly feel that the golden hooks of the mysterious person had cracked open several fate wheels of the first and second layer. The mysterious person was so fast. He moved around in the air and the golden hooks moved on the fate wheels one by one. Those fate wheels that were as hard as heaven-grade Xian artifact were cracked open by him with one hook. Ridiculous. Fate wheels were so hard. How could he crack them so easily? Even if the pair of hooks were legendary Xian artifacts of the holy grade, they couldn't be so sharp. Bang, 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 the mysterious person dashed into the crowd. The hundreds of warriors couldn't even see him clearly. All they saw was rays of golden light. Their bodies exploded one after another. Their bodies fell down from the sky. In the time for a few breaths, more than a dozen were killed. All the warriors of the Yu family were scared. Was this a man or a ghost? How could they attack when they couldn't even see him? Seeing the bodies of the Yu family warriors exploding one after another, all the warriors of the Yu family felt fear from the depth of their souls. Many of them couldn't help but run to all directions. Nobody wanted to die, not to mention dying without knowing why. "Back off!" Feather Man shouted, and a portion of the cultivators who had been frightened hurriedly flew downwards. The 2 warriors of the Eternal Realm next to Yu Luan all had their fate wheels in their abdomens. One of them had a 6-layered fate wheel, and the other had an 8-layered fate wheel. The 2 of them flew onto their fate wheels. One of them had a mark of fire on his neck, and the other had a mark of sun on his neck. One of them held a saber and the other a huge axe. They controlled their fate wheels and flew forward. Swish, the mysterious man didn't even look at the 2. He turned into a gust of wind and dashed toward the place with the most warriors of the Yu family. His body continuously flickered, and golden light continuously shone. Every breath of time, someone's body would explode. The speed at which he killed was simply too fast. "Back off, back off!" The 2 elders of the Eternal Realm shouted. They couldn't attack the mysterious man when he dashed into the crowd of the Yu family. They had to keep yelling. "Wheel of Burning!" The elder of the Eternal Realm with a mark of fire on his neck released his bloodline skill. Balls of fire on his neck went into the fate wheel. The fate wheel started to spin rapidly, and the outside of the fate wheel was burning. The fate wheel turned into a wheel of fire. The temperature of the fire was so high that the air around it was curling up. "Go to hell," the elder of the eternal realm of the Yu family shouted. The wheel of fire whooshed over and crashed into the mysterious man. He didn't care about the warriors of the Yu family around. Wheel of burning? The mysterious man suddenly appeared on the spot. He looked at the flying wheel of fire and sneered. How can such a small skill be worthy of such a domineering name? Open your eyes and see what a powerful bloodline skill is. P.S. I wasn't feeling well last night, so I didn't stay up late. That's why I only wrote one chapter. Of course, it didn't mean that I wouldn't update today and I wouldn't update less. Let's change the time. From now on, I'll update at 6 p.m. every day. Chapter 267. A streak of black light glowed on the mysterious man's neck. However, it was so blurry that nobody could tell what kind of bloodline mark it was. Black light? Is it a black mark? Standing on the deck, Yuluan suddenly had a bad feeling. What did a black bloodline mark mean? It meant an 8th rank bloodline. 7th rank bloodlines were the most powerful at the northern desert. There had never been an 8th rank bloodline in history. If this man had 8th rank bloodline, then he was definitely not from the northern desert. Whoosh! The mysterious man moved. He dashed toward the fate wheel in a straight line. He was so fast that all the warriors of the Soul Pond realm and Fate Wheel realm could not see him clearly. Only Yuluan and the other 2 warriors could use psychic power to sense him. The fate wheel was flying in the air, stirring up a gust of wind. There seemed to be a man moving around the fate wheel. But many people were not sure because they could not see clearly. What? Yuluan and the other 2 warriors were shocked. They could all sense the mysterious man. They could tell that the mysterious man was moving around the fate wheel. When the fate wheel moved, he would move as well. When the fate wheel rotated 1 round, he rotated twice. How fast was the fate wheel? The mysterious man's speed had reached an unimaginable level. The reason he was moving around the fate wheel was to show the 3 his bloodline skill and his amazing speed. Noble Lord Realm? No, not even the family patriarch of the Z family could be this fast. This man's speed is definitely at the human sovereign realm. Yuluan thought quickly, trying to figure out the man's speed. The conclusion he came up with made him desperate. Yuluan even lost the will to fight. He knew that all the Yu family warriors were going to die today. No one could escape. His speed was comparable to the human sovereign realm. Who could run away? Who could be a match for him? Speed, strength, defense. When one reached a certain level in any aspect, one could have horrifying abilities. Is it really an 8th rank bloodline? Yuluan's eyes flickered. 8th rank bloodlines were rare even at the Central Plains. Families or races that had 8th rank bloodlines could be counted on one's fingers. Swish! The mysterious man moved around the fate wheel for a bit and suddenly flew toward the Eternal Realm warrior of the Yu family. The Eternal Realm warrior of the Yu family hurriedly controlled the fate wheel to fly back to protect himself. However, this man was twice faster than the fate wheel. How could the fate wheel be faster than him? Hiss! An air-piercing sound rang out. A ghostly shadow flashed past the Yu family's Eternal Realm expert. Then, the Yu family's Eternal Realm expert's head flew up. He had just raised his saber, and did not have the time to attack. It's over. The other elder of the Yu family also did not have the urge to attack. This person's speed was too terrifying. Even a peak imperishable realm martial practitioner would not be able to withstand a single blow from him, much less their meager strength. This was like a rabbit encountering an eagle on a grassland that stretched as far as the eye could see. They simply could not block it, nor could they escape. Rip! The mysterious man rushed towards him. The man's eyes flickered as he put away the giant axe in his hand. At the same time, he raised his hands and said, "Sir, I surrender." The ghostly shadow floated past him, and he felt a chill on his neck. Then he felt his head flying off. He even saw a pillar of blood spurting out from his neck. His last thought was that he regretted joining the Yu clan's outer hall. Another imperishable realm martial artist was killed. Yulun had lost all hope. He didn't even run away. He was only at the middle stage of the Eternal Realm. The iron-armored ship was even slower. There was no one left to stop the mysterious man's massacre. A jade talisman appeared in his hand and he crushed it. The only thing he could do was to warn Yu Huashan and tell him that they were all dead. That mysterious man didn't leave to kill Yulun. Instead, he dashed towards the other Yu family warriors and started another round of killing. As far as Yulun could see, the bodies of the Yu family warriors exploded one after another. Many people screamed and rushed into the lake. Some Fate Wheel Realm warriors flew away in fear on their Fate Wheels. Some even ran towards the iron-armored ship. How could a group of turtles escape from an eagle? The answer was obvious. In the time it took for half an incense stick to burn, no one except Yulun could escape. Even the scouts hiding nearby were all killed. Swish, the mysterious man turned into a gust of wind and gathered on the deck. He stood 3 feet in front of Yulun. That pair of golden hooks were still dripping with blood. The blood dripped on the deck, making a frightening sound. Yulun stared at the blurry face of the mysterious man and said, "Cyan Phoenix race?" As the brains, Yulun knew more. He was a man of his caliber. The Cyan Phoenix race was a race from the Central Plains. It disappeared thousands of years ago, but Yulun had read some information about the Cyan Phoenix race. As the fastest race in the world, the Cyan Phoenix race had some obvious features, such as 8th rank bloodline, which was rare. It was not surprising that Yulun could figure it out. The blurry face of the mysterious man became clearer and clearer, revealing his spirited face. His pointy ears were also revealed. Yulun nodded and said, "You really are a warrior of the Cyan Phoenix race. What I don't understand is, why are you helping Luli? You have good eyes." Yi Cha smiled lightly and explained, "I am not helping him. I am just carrying out his orders because Luli is the Saint Lord of the Cyan Phoenix race." Yulun was shocked. Yi Cha wasn't in the mood to chat with him. He said coldly, "Do you want to destroy your spirit sea yourself or do you want me to do it for you?" Yulun was shocked again. Yi Cha didn't want to kill him? He could rebuild his spirit sea after it was destroyed. He wouldn't be able to fight for a while, but as long as he was alive, there was hope. Yulun looked at Yi Cha and slapped at his abdomen decisively. Blood gushed out from his mouth. His spirit sea was smashed. Once his spirit sea was destroyed, he couldn't use Xian energy nor Fate Wheel. He had lost his combat abilities. Yi Cha nodded. The ring on his hand glowed as he put away the iron-armored ship. He grabbed Yulun and rushed towards the Blood Evil Island. Yi Cha was fast. In the time for dozens of breaths, he had arrived at the Blood Evil Island. He dashed into the Blood Evil Fortress. His face became blurry again. He threw Yulun to the ground and said in a deep voice, "I have killed all the warriors of the Yu family. This is their leader." Swish, 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 Lu Yi and the others' expressions changed as if they had seen a ghost. Yi Cha had only gone out for the time for 2 or 3 incense sticks to burn and he had killed all the warriors of the Yu family. He had captured the powerful leader? Mingyu looked at Yulun and then at Yi Cha. Once again, the look in his eyes changed. But he didn't say anything. He just looked at Luli. Luli was not surprised at all. Yi Cha had reached the Noble Lord realm, had an 8th rank bloodline, and had learned profound meaning. If he couldn't even kill several warriors of the Eternal Realm, then the Cyan Phoenix race wouldn't deserve its reputation. Luli looked at Yulun and asked, "What is your name, your realm, and what is your position in the Yu family?" Yulun recognized Luli as soon as he came in. He had seen Luli's portrait many times. He looked at Mingyu on Luli's back and felt he couldn't understand Luli. After some thoughts, Yulun answered honestly, I am Yulun, a patriarch of the eternal clan of the Yu family. I am at the middle stage of the eternal realm. Another uproar came from the hall. For the Lu family, even warriors of the Fate-Will realm were powerful, let alone the eternal realm. Luli raised his hand to silence the noise in the hall. He nodded and said, "Where is your family patriarch? How many warriors are here? How many teams?" Yulun didn't hide anything. He said, "Family patriarch has gone to the Heaven Prison Island. I am in charge here. There are 6 teams, more than 8,000 warriors in total." Luli looked at Yi Cha and asked, "How many teams have we killed?" Yi Cha answered, 2 teams, 3 including the Yu family. Old 4 will be able to get rid of everyone in an hour at most. Chapter 268. Luli asked again, "Yulun, how many noble Lord Realm warriors of your 3 kingdoms are here?" Yulun thought for a while and said, "Can I live if I say it?" Yulun was a smart man. Smart men were usually afraid of death. They would weigh the pros and cons. If he would die even if he told them, then what was the point? Luli didn't say anything. He would kill Yulun, but it was impossible for him to let Yulun go. But if he killed Yulun, Yulun might not tell him. After a while, Luli said, "I will not kill you, but you must become my slave. I will plant soul worms in your head, and you will serve me for 100 years. You are at the middle stage of the eternal realm. 100 years is nothing to you. If you don't want to, then kill yourself. You have 2 choices." Yulun squinted. He stared at Luli and said, "Why should I trust you? What if you break the promise?" Luli sneered and said, "Do you think I will like you, a warrior of the eternal realm?" With that said, Luli looked at Yi Cha. The latter's chi and energy spread out, suffocating everyone. When Yi Cha restrained his chi and energy, Yulun exhaled and said, "Noble Lord Realm." Since Luli had warriors of the Noble Lord Realm working for him, then Yulun wouldn't like Luli. Yulun thought about it and said, 100 years is fine, 300 years is fine. I only have one request. Luli waved his hand and said, "Say it." Yulun bowed to Luli and said, "Young Master Lu, it is the Yu family's fault. We are blind to have offended you. No matter what happens in the end, I beg you to spare the Yu family." Spare? Lu Yi and Patriarch 9 were stunned. Luli wanted to spare the Yu family? Could Luli wipe out the Yu family? Was this mysterious old man that powerful? Of course. But Yulun was sure of this. Yi Cha alone could wipe out the Yu family, let alone Mingyu. Yulun knew that Yu Huashan didn't know who Yi Cha was. Also, judging from Yi Cha's words, he was not the only one of the Cyan Phoenix race working for Luli. The Cyan Phoenix race was one of the most powerful races of the Central Plains. Many people turned to Luli. After some thoughts, Luli said, "I can give you a way out, but only a way out." Luli's meaning was clear. Yu Huashan and the others could not be let go. Luli only promised that he wouldn't send someone to destroy the Yu family. Yulun was satisfied with the answer. Yi Cha said Luli was the Saint Lord of the Cyan Phoenix race. Yulun didn't know how many powerful warriors the Cyan Phoenix clan had, but a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. It would be too easy to destroy the Yu family. There are 5 noble Lord Realm warriors here. The king of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom, brother 3 of the Yi family, the chief patriarch of the Z family, the family patriarch of the Qi family, a 5th-rank family of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom, and our family patriarch. The 5 noble Lord Realm warriors should have gone to the Heaven Prison Island, and there are more than 20 of the Eternal Realm. Yulun told the old man and the young man the whole story in great detail. All the experts that had come this time were listed, including the number of troops from each side, which family was leading the troops, and how many experts were there. When Yulun finished, Luli asked with curiosity, "Yulun, how do you know so much?" Yulun smiled with pride and said, "The expedition to the Thousand Island Lake was planned by us. I planned the haunted hollow battle myself. My power in the Yu family is second only to the family patriarch. Luli didn't expect that he would capture a big shot this time. He nodded, looked at Yi Cha and said, implant the soul worms in him. Also, help him recover his strength. Yi Cha grabbed Yuluan with one hand and left. Luli closed his eyes to rest, waiting for fourth patriarch of the Cyan Phoenix race to come back. Mingyu was a man of few words. Lu Yi and Patriarch 9 dared not to ask too many questions. After waiting for an hour, 2 cool breezes blew over, and 2 silhouettes condensed in the main hall. Lu Yi and the others glanced at them, and they couldn't tell who they were. Both of them were wearing sackcloth and their faces were blurry. It was impossible to tell who they were. Mingyu was the same. His psychic power was strong, but he couldn't see the faces of the two. It must be some kind of powerful secret skill. The two bowed and one of them reported, "Young master, all the enemies have been killed." "Very good, beautifully done." Luli nodded. He turned to Mingyu and said, "Let's go and have a look at the Goddown city. The two of you guard this area. If any enemies come near, kill them immediately." Luli then looked at Lu Yi and said, "Stay here and don't move." "Yes." Lu Yi and the others took the order. Mingyu took Luli and ran towards the Goddown city. Mingyu didn't use his fate bead. He kicked the water with his legs and moved horizontally, as if he was flying in the water. Outside the dock of the Goddown Island, Payan and the others were still gathered together, but they were confused. The scouts found that there were bodies everywhere around the Blood Evil Island. The iron-armored ships of the Yu family disappeared, and so did the powerful warriors of the Yu family. Many fate wheels sank to the bottom of the lake, scaring the scouts who went to check on the situation. At the moment, Payan and the others still couldn't figure it out. They thought they got the wrong information, so they were sending someone to check again. There were so many fate wheels, including a 6-layered one and an 8-layered one. Those were warriors of the middle stage and the later stage of the Eternal Realm. Warriors of the Eternal Realm were killed? This was so shocking that Pei Ai and the others couldn't believe it. Whoosh, from the distance came a man in a fast speed. Everyone was on high alert. After a while, they realized it was two people, Luli and Mingyu. Luli. Payan and the others frowned. Why was Luli here instead of at the Blood Evil Island? Was it because the Yu family couldn't hold on any longer? Or were the powerful warriors of the Yu family really killed? Anyways, Payan and the others bowed to Luli with respect after he got on the island. Luli glanced over and said indifferently, "Go back to the city. Payan, send a message to the Bai family at once. Tell Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang to come here." Go back to the city? Looking at the calmness on Luli's face, Payan's old body trembled as he recalled the information he had received. He asked in a trembling voice, "Island owner, the scouts said that all the warriors of the Yu family are dead? Is it true?" The others looked at Luli with excitement, waiting for him to reveal the truth. Luli nodded and said, "Yes, all the warriors of the Yu family are dead. Not only the Yu family, all the more than 8,000 warriors that came to attack the Goddown Island are dead. I sent someone to kill them. Is there a problem?" What? Everyone was in an uproar. Just now, they were ready to risk their lives and kill as many as they could. Many even scolded Luli for being a coward and saying that he could not be counted on. They didn't expect that Luli would send someone to kill all the enemies quietly and in such a fast speed. Luli didn't have time to waste with them. He waved his hand and said, "What are you waiting for? Go back to the city and send a message to the Bai family. Ask them to send Bai Qiushue and her sister here. If we are late, the Bai Emperor Mountain will fall." Payan came to his senses. His expressions flickered. He asked Luli in a low voice, "It is okay to send the message. But will it attract the warriors of the noble Lord Realm?" Ha ha. Chapter 269. Luli was not afraid of 1 or 2 noble Lord Realm warriors. He had 3 noble Lord Realm warriors on his side. Before the army arrived, 4th Patriarch of the Cyan Phoenix race made the breakthrough as well. Granted, he was not as powerful as Yi Cha and he didn't learn any profound meaning, but noble Lord Realm warriors of the Cyan Phoenix race were born to be more powerful than average ones. Previously, Lu Li only had Mingyu with him, so he only thought about protecting himself. He never thought about Bai Qiushue and the twins. Now that he had the ability, he would help the twins. After all, they had done him a great favor. Not long ago, the twins risked their lives to go to the Yu Emperor city. As for the Bai family, Lu Li couldn't help them. There must be many powerful warriors gathered at the Bai Emperor Mountain. Even if Lu Li were to bring Ming Yu and Yi Cha there, he would only be courting death. There were 5 warriors of the noble Lord Realm, and it was said that Du Jing, the chief steward of the heaven-punishing auction house, was involved. He was the 2nd most powerful warrior on the Northern Desert warlord list. Lu Li acknowledged the kindness of Bai Qiushue and her sister, but not the Bai family. He didn't want to court his own death. Payan didn't know what was going on at the Heaven Prison City, so he didn't dare to send someone over. Luckily, the Pei family had been rooted at the Thousand Island Lake for hundreds of years. They had their own means. Soon, they sent someone over. Lu Li stayed at the God-Down City and closed the teleportation formation in the city. He also mobilized scouts from all the forces and families to spread out to gather information and wait for Yu Huashan to come. Yu Huashan was at the Heaven Prison City. Not only him, but Du Heng, the king of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom, Zi Huanyu, the chief patriarch of the Zi family, Yi Li, the 3rd son of the Yi family and Qi family patriarch of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom, Qi Tianhe, were all here. Du Xiling, Yi Yuhan and Zilian were here as well. Apart from them, there were more than 30 warriors of the Eternal Realm and hundreds of warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm. All the powerful warriors were gathered at the Heaven Prison City to conquer the Bai Emperor Mountain and divide the wealth of the Bai family. The Bai family had controlled the Thousand Island Lake for more than 2,000 years and had accumulated a great amount of wealth. The 3 great royal clans didn't fancy any of the families on the Rank 4 islands. Only the Bai family's mountain of wealth could move the 3 great royal clans. The 3 royal families' powerful warriors gathered together and fought their way in. After they conquered a 4th-rank islands, they were teleported to the family. The transmission formation of the Heaven Prison City had been closed, but it had been opened 2 hours ago. The Bai family's Eternal Realm expert, who was monitoring the heaven-punishing auction house, was suddenly killed. Then, hundreds of martial artists appeared in the auction house. They occupied the square and took control of the teleportation formation. Then, they brought the 3 royal family experts over. Now it was very clear that Du Jing, the supervisor of the auction house, had participated in the siege of the Old Man of Heaven Prison. Of course, it was useless even if they knew. When the strong warriors of the 3 royal families teleported over, the Heaven Prison City would have a new owner immediately. There were not many experts in the city to begin with, so they were easily suppressed. Buzz! The teleportation formation kept flashing as experts from the 3 nations were continuously teleported over. More than 20 warriors of the Eternal Realm had taken control of the Heaven Prison City. Countless warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm were flying around, suppressing those who dared to resist. Yu Huashan stood on the plaza, side by side with the other 4 noble Lord Realm warriors. The 5 of them looked to the north where the Bai Emperor Mountain was glowing. The Bai Emperor Mountain activated the mountain protection formation, but the 5 noble Lord Realm warriors didn't mind at all. No matter how strong the formation was, could it withstand the attacks of so many experts? Even if it couldn't be broken in a short period of time, the array needed energy to support it. When all the energy inside was used up, it would naturally break. Whoosh! A patriarch of the Yu family suddenly rushed over and whispered something to Yu Huashan's ear. A glint of coldness rose in Yu Huashan's eyes. He coldly shouted, "Really? The patriarch of the Yu family reached out his hand and showed him a broken jade talisman. Yu Huashan looked even more gloomy. He angrily shouted, "Lu Li, I swear I will kill you." Yu Huashan's shout attracted the attention of people nearby. The chief patriarch of the Zi family, Zi Huanyu, asked with a frown, "Yu Huashan, what happened?" Yu Huashan suppressed his anger and said, "The army at the God-Down Island was wiped out. Yu Luan and the others were all killed." Du Heng, Zi Huanyu, Yi Li and Qi Tianhe's eyes glowed with coldness. All the armies were doing well except for the one at the God-Down Island? This time, they were going to wipe out all the warriors of the families of the Thousand Island Lake. Now that there was a gap, many warriors could escape. What if those warriors dashed out of the three nations and started killing? Lu Li of the God-Down Island? Du Xiling, Yi Yuhan and Zilian were standing together with young disciples of the three royal families. They shouted and then began to discuss in a low voice. Lu Li was the talk of the northern desert recently. In the tomb of the Dragon King, he defeated the best disciples of the three nations and injured Du Xiling. Then, he broke into the Heaven Martial Kingdom and slapped the Yu family in the face. Lu Li was the main reason why this matter could be blown out of proportion. It was a foregone conclusion that all the warriors of the Thousand Island Lake would be wiped out. However, something unexpected happened to Lu Li. "Guys, let's attack the Bai Emperor Mountain first. I will go to the God-Down Island and cut off Lu Li's head in person." Yu Huashan said coldly and walked towards the teleportation formation with the powerful warriors of the Yu family. Du Heng and the others thought about it but said nothing. After all, it was the warriors of the Yu family that died, not their families. Yu Huashan stepped into the teleportation formation with the three warriors of the Eternal Realm. However, the warriors guarding the teleportation formation didn't teleport after they released their Xian energy. Clearly, the teleportation formation at the God-Down Island was closed. Where is the nearest fourth-rank island to the God-Down City? Yu Huashan snorted and asked. Only fourth-rank islands had teleportation formations. Now that the teleportation formation at the God-Down City was closed, they had to teleport to nearby cities. Fire Island, one of them said. Yu Huashan nodded. The teleportation formation was activated again. This time, they were teleported successfully. "Uncle Yu, bring Lu Li back alive so I can vent my anger," Du Xiling suddenly said during the teleportation. Yu Huashan glanced over and nodded indifferently. The teleportation formation glowed, and Yu Huashan and the other three disappeared in it. There were many people on the Bai Emperor Mountain. Almost all the remaining powerful warriors of the Thousand Island Lake were gathered there. A huge seven-colored shield covered the Bai Emperor Mountain like an upside-down transparent bowl. The seven-colored glare made the gloomy faces of the warriors standing on the Bai Emperor Mountain look awful. In the outdoor pavilion, Madame Yen, Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang were sitting quietly, waiting for the moment of the war. Whoosh! A man rushed over from the distance. Chief Steward Bai walked over in strides with an old man of the Soul Pond realm. Outside of the pavilion, Chief Steward Bai came in alone to report, "Madam, the Pei family of the God-Down City has sent word to Lu Li." Lu Li said, "Let Madam send the two ladies over. He can protect them." Madame Yan's gloomy eyes lit up. Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang were surprised as well. Lu Li didn't run away? He even sent someone over to say he would protect them? Is it the Lu family? Madame Yen blushed. Apart from the Lu family, she couldn't think of how Lu Li could protect the twins. Her eyes flickered and she said coldly, "Send a message to Lu Li. Tell him to bring someone to the Bai Emperor Mountain. If he can help the Bai family this time, I, Bai Yen, will be willing to be his slave or maid." Chief Steward Bai left with the old man of the Soul Pond realm at once. That man had connections with the Pei family, so he could send a message to Pei and through special means. Madame Yen, Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang waited in the outdoor pavilion with anxiety. Madame Yen couldn't sit still anymore. She paced up and down in the pavilion. After an hour, Chief Steward Bai came back with a bitter expression. He replied, "Lu Li said that he cannot protect the Bai Emperor Mountain with his own power. He can only protect the two ladies." Alas, the light in Madame Yan's eyes dimmed down. She waved her hand and said, "Then tell Lu Li that the army is at the foot of the mountain. The mountain protection formation is activated. Nobody can get out. Tell him to burn some joss paper money for us every year on this day." Chapter 270. Worship. There was a trace of fear and panic in Bai Xiaoshuang's eyes. Bai Qiushua looked surprised. She stared at Madame Yen and said in a low voice, "Auntie, I don't think it's a good idea to deliver a message like this." Based on Bai Qiushua's understanding of Madame Yen wouldn't want to die with them. Instead, he would take her and Bai Xiaoshuang to escape into the small world. If so, why did she ask Lu Li to worship them? Wasn't this forcing Lu Li to court death at the Bai Emperor Mountain? Based on Bai Qiushua's understanding of Lu Li, if he could help the Bai family, he would have come a long time ago. Madame Yen laughed mockingly and said, "Don't worry, kiddo. Lu Li is not in love with you. He won't do anything stupid. Even if he wants to mess around, Ming Yu will definitely not allow it." Bai Qiushua still felt a little uneasy, but Chief Steward Bai had already brought people to pass the message. Even if she wanted to stop them now, she couldn't. Chi-chi, an ear-piercing sound came from the south, attracting Autumn Snow's attention. Madame Yen took a look inside. What will come will come. One by one, the fate wheels flew across the sky. Most of the fate wheels were 1, 2, and 3 layered. There were at least 20 to 30 fate wheels that were more than 4 layered. There were also 2 iron-armored ships. On one of them stood Du Heng, Yili, Zi Huanyu, and Qi Tianao. On the other iron-armored ship stood Zilian, Du Xiling, Yi Yuhan, and other young masters and young ladies. There were more people on this side, at least 100. They were all geniuses from various clans, and it was obvious that they were here to gain experience and learn. This battle was to be recorded in the history of the Northern Desert, and there was no danger this time. With such a good opportunity, the various clans naturally wanted their genius disciples to come over to learn and gain valuable experience. In the future, these geniuses would become the mainstay of the various families. This kind of thing was the easiest for them to grow. The Heaven Prison City had been completely controlled. There were not many strong warriors in the city. The strong warriors were all in the Bai Emperor Mountain. Therefore, after the 4 noble Lord Realm warriors confirmed that everything was fine, they ordered all warriors above the Fate Wheel Realm to go to the Bai Emperor Mountain. The Bai Emperor Mountain was extremely steep. Normally, people would use the teleportation formation to get in and out. Now that the teleportation formation must have been closed, warriors of the Soul Pond Realm who could not fly were useless. What was more, the Bai Emperor Mountain had activated the Mountain Protection Formation. Attacks from warriors of the Soul Pond Realm would be no different from scratching an itch. There were 700 to 800 warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm, more than 30 of the Eternal Realm, and 4 of the Noble Lord Realm. This was enough to wipe out any of the 3 kingdoms. Of course, not all the powerful warriors of the 3 kingdoms were here. The family patriarch of the Zi family didn't come. Instead, he sent his chief patriarch, Zi Huanyu, and 2 noble Lord Realm warriors of the 5th-rank families didn't come as well. Nearly 800 people released their fate wheels and flew to the top of the Bai Emperor Mountain. Their 7-colored fate wheels were huge, and the warriors Qi and Qi were at their peak. The atmosphere in the Bai Emperor Mountain was extremely depressing. This mountain-protecting array shone with rainbow light, but it was translucent. Sounds and auras from the outside could all be transmitted in. There was a plaza in front of the castles on the Bai Emperor Mountain, which was crowded with people. The remaining powerful warriors of the 1,000 Island Lake were all here. Looking at the dense mass of enemies in the sky, everyone's expressions became extremely solemn. Could this mountain guarding formation withstand the attacks of so many experts? Du Heng, the king of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom, was the most powerful warrior here, and also the one with the highest status. He waved his hand and shouted, "Attack!" Swish, hundreds of streaks of Xian energy whooshed down in an instant. All kinds of sword and saber lights, golden bolts, and black beams of light tore apart the sky and smashed on the colorful mountain protection formation. Boom, 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 boom. The mountain protection formation was glaring and explosions were happening everywhere. The colorful light on the mountain protection formation suddenly became dazzling. Warriors on the plaza were tensed up. Some of them even wanted to dodge out of instinct. But soon they came to their senses. This was because the attacks had all exploded in midair, like fireworks blooming in the sky. The entire mountain protecting array had not even trembled a bit. So powerful! Bai Xiaoshuang looked at the colorful shield in the sky and exclaimed. Madame Yen said with pride, "This is built by our forefather himself. Our forefather's greatest strength is not his combat abilities, but his inhibition formations. This formation has been built for more than 1,000 years. It can absorb Xian Qi in heaven and earth and transform it into energy. There is too much energy in it. Those warriors can't break it even if they attack it for 10 days or half a month." Our forefather was so powerful, Bai Qiushue exclaimed to herself. She looked sad and murmured, "What a pity. He still passed away." "Don't be sad." Madame Yen patted Bai Qiushue's shoulder and said, "Our forefather's life is running out. We, the young generation, should blame ourselves for not working hard. Our forefather gave us more than 2,000 years, and the Bai family only has Bai Shi." From the sky came a cold snort. Du Heng waved his hand and said, "Let's attack together. I don't believe that we cannot break this turtle shell." "Okay." Yili stared at Madame Yen with an evil glint in his eyes. He flew out. A bead the size of a thumb appeared in his abdomen. As soon as the bead appeared, it glowed brightly, attracting many people's attention. At that moment, the entire world seemed to have disappeared, and the only thing left was this golden bead. Bead of life. Many people shouted in surprise. Bead of life was the symbol of the noble Lord Realm. It was a bead formed by 9 fate wheels. Each fate wheel was formed by countless treasures, but the bead of life was formed by 9 fate wheels. It was not hard to imagine how powerful the bead of life was. Buzzing. Du Heng's abdomen glowed as a bead of life the size of an egg appeared. This bead of life overshadowed the glow of Yi Li's bead of life. What was more, this bead of life was surrounded by thunderbolts and emitted a horrifying qi and energy, as if this bead could destroy everything. Zi Huanyu and Qi Tianhe released their beads of life as well. At Du Heng's shout, 4 beads of life smashed at the colorful shield. At the same time, countless fate wheels turned into meteorites and crashed into the mountain defense formation with the sound of the wind. Inside the Bai Emperor Mountain, many people's souls were trembling. 4 beads of life and so many fate wheels. Even a mountain hundreds of times bigger than the Bai Emperor Mountain would be cracked in an instant. Would the mountain protection formation be able to withstand it? Boom, boom, boom. A series of earth-shaking noises came out. Everyone in the Heaven Prison City, not far away, could hear it clearly. It was as if a mountain was collapsing and the earth was being split open. It was horrifying. The colorful shield glowed brightly. At that moment it was as if the sun had exploded. Everyone on the ground was blinded. Many people were trembling. They held their weapons tightly, ready to rush out and fight with their lives as soon as the formation was broken. However, what stunned Du Heng and the others was that after the glow, the formation didn't tremble at all. It was unbreakable. Ha ha! Madame Yen sneered. Du Heng, Zi Huanyu, Yili, Qi Tianhe, your attacks are too weak. You want to break through the mountain guarding Grand Array with that kind of attack power? Dream on. I suggest you go and invite Dujing here. He might be able to break it as soon as he comes. Chapter 271. The By-Emperor Mountain was engulfed in flames of war, and so were other places. The entire Thousand-Island Lake was covered in blood. There were fights everywhere, or massacres everywhere. All the powerful warriors of the Thousand-Island Lake were gathered at the By-Emperor Mountain. The rest were weak, some at the Soul Pond realm at best. Occasionally there would be one or two at the Fate Wheel realm. However, the allied forces of the three kingdoms that invaded the Thousand-Island Lake were all led by warriors at the Fate Wheel realm. There were 3 or 4 at the Fate Wheel realm in every team. Therefore, apart from the God-Down City, all the other directions were massacres. The 3 royal families hated the Thousand-Island Lake to their bones. There was no instruction from above to enter the Thousand-Island Lake. No instruction meant that they could do whatever they wanted. Burning, killing, robbing, raping, pillaging, whatever they wanted to do, whatever felt good. Warriors of the northern desert fought every day. There was anger hidden in their hearts. How could they miss such a chance to vent their anger? If there were no powerful warriors to restrain an army, it would be a catastrophe for the civilians. This might seem cruel and inhumane, but this was reality. This was war. Such things happened frequently at the northern desert and in the world. Survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest. This was the law of survival at the northern desert. The God-Down Island was quiet. All the enemies were killed. Yi Shao, the 4th patriarch of the Cyan Phoenix race, killed them all by himself. It was so easy for a warrior of the noble Lord realm to defeat thousands of warriors of low realms. Lu Li stayed at the God-Down City and lived in the original backyard. He didn't sleep, rest, or cultivate. All he could think of was the beautiful faces of Bai Qiuxue and Bai Xiaoshuang. He received a message from Madame Yen. Madame Yen asked him to burn some Joss paper money for them every year. This made Lu Li uncomfortable, but there was nothing he could do. Some favors must be repaid. The thing was, Lu Li didn't have the ability to do so. Bringing Ming Yu, Yi Cha and Yi Shao to their deaths? That would be unfair to Ming Yu and the other 2. In order to help 2 friends, he killed 3 loyal subordinates who followed him? Lu Li couldn't do such a thing. Strength, I am not powerful enough. I am too weak. Lu Li sighed. For a long time, he had thought that his cultivation speed was fast enough, and that his abilities were incredible. Now, it seemed that it was still not enough. It was still too low. Without strength, he could only watch Bai Qiuxue and Bai Xiaoshuang being killed. Xiao! A slight voice came from the outside. Ming Yu flew in like a ghost and reported, "Our scouts reported that Yu Huashan is here with his men. They took iron-armored ships from the Fire Island. They should be here in 3 hours at most." Lu Li stood up and said after some thoughts, "Well, send a message to Yi Shao to find out the specific situation. I think there are many powerful warriors." Night Owl? It was the first time Ming Yu had heard of this name. Lu Li came to his senses and said, "One of the 2 from the Blood Evil Island. Send someone to Lu Yi and ask her to pass on the message." "All right." Ming Yu floated out and found Peiyan. The latter quickly arranged for scouts to send a message over. Soon, Ming Yu came back and stood next to Lu Li. After a moment of silence he asked, "Young master, who are they? I don't think they are normal humans." "You are right." Lu Li smiled and said, "But I cannot tell you who they are. I promise them that I will not tell anyone. I will tell you when the time is right. All you need to know is that they are absolutely loyal." Ming Yu rolled his eyes and asked, "Loyal to you? Or to your father?" "Me." Lu Li smiled lightly and asked back, "What? You don't believe that I have the ability?" Ming Yu answered honestly, "I do have some doubts. Young master, you are talented and you have many special abilities, but it is not enough for you to make 2 warriors of the noble Lord Realm surrender to you. Powerhouses all have dignity and pride. If there wasn't a special reason, such a situation wouldn't have happened. Lu Li was not angry. Instead, he liked Ming Yu's honesty. Lu Li nodded and said, "There are special reasons. As a matter of fact, I myself feel it is strange. Never mind. Let's get ready for the fight." Lu Li walked out with Mingyu. Peiyan and the others in the hall were standing there uneasily. After all, Yu Huashan was here in person. Could Lu Li's men stop him? Lu Li didn't say anything after he came in. He just waited quietly. Yi Xiao was fast. In an hour at most there should be news. As expected, after an hour, a shadow suddenly floated in from outside, which startled Peiyan and the others. How come no one noticed that a person had come in? Lu Li waved his hand and said, "It's my men." Patriarch 4, what is it? Lu Li didn't call Yi Xiao by his name in case others could infer information from his name. Yi Xiao bowed and said in a hoarse voice, "Young master, there is a warrior at the middle stage of the Noble Lord Realm, 3 of the Eternal Realm, and more than a dozen of the Fate Wheel Realm. According to their speed, they should arrive here in about an hour." Yi Xiao and Yi Cha didn't call Lu Li Saint Lord but Young Master. In this way, others could not infer their relationship and they could hide a lot of information. There are no other Noble Lord Realm warriors nearby? Did Yu Huashan see you? Lu Li asked. Yi Xiao bowed and said, "Only one Noble Lord Realm warrior. I am sure. He didn't see me and I am sure of that." "Good." Lu Li looked at the map hanging on the wall. Pointing to an island to the south of the God-Down Island, he said, "Let's do it here." Patriarch 4, go back and ask your family patriarch to come here. We will wait for Yu Huashan here. Yi Xiao looked at the map and said with hesitation, "Young master, you don't have to go. Leave it to me and my family patriarch. We will take their heads." "It's okay. With you here, Yu Huashan can't hurt me." Lu Li smiled and said, "Also, this is a great chance to learn. How can I miss it?" "Alright." Yi Xiao looked at Mingyu. He wasn't too worried considering Yu Huashan's realm. He flew away in a breeze. Lu Li looked at Mingyu and they walked out together. Peiyan followed him and said, "Island owner, we will go with you." The others came to their senses. How could they miss such a great fight? Also, Lu Li's men could kill warriors of the Noble Lord Realm? At this moment, Lu Li had become someone to rely on in their hearts. How could they not cling to him? "Piss off." Lu Li glanced to them coldly and said, "Stay in the city and don't move. Don't even send out scouts nearby. Don't blame me if they are killed by mistake." Lu Li didn't want to leak any information about the Cyan Phoenix race. Naturally, he couldn't let these people go and what? Lu Li knew very well what kind of people they were. They could sell him out at any time. "Let's go." He glanced at Mingyu. Mingyu grabbed him with one hand and with a few leaps, they were out of the God-Down City. Soon, they disappeared from everyone's sight. Chapter 272. To the northwest of the Sundown Island was a nameless island. It was too small for people to live on. There was nothing on the island except some gravel and some weeds. When Lu Li and Mingyu arrived, Yi Cha was already waiting for them. His speed was horrifying, but Yi Xiao was nowhere to be seen. He must have gone to explore nearby. "Young master." Yi Cha bowed. Mingyu cupped his fists to Yi Cha after some thoughts. Yi Cha nodded back. The leader of the 5 freaks of the Thousand Island Lake had a strange temper. Mingyu cupped his fists to Yi Cha meant that he recognized Yi Cha's power. Lu Li looked to the south and waited quietly. Mingyu and Yi Cha were standing behind him. One of them had a blurry face and the other was wearing a ghost mask. It was hard to tell their expressions. Whoosh! After the time for 2 incense sticks to burn, a breeze came from afar and stopped in front of Lu Li. Yi Xiao came back. He cupped his fists and said, "He is here." He will be here in the time for 3 incense sticks to burn. Okay. Luli nodded. He looked calm and his soul was not disturbed at all. It seemed that the fight that was about to happen was of the Soul Pond realm, not the Noble Lord realm. A glint of admiration appeared in Ming Yu's eyes even though the Lu family had the absolute advantage. That being said, Luli was only 16 years old, and he was at the Soul Pond realm. How could he be so calm in a fight of this level? The son of Lu Renhuang was really something. Time moved on. After the time for 2 incense sticks to burn, there came a noise from the south. Then a black dot was getting bigger and bigger. An iron-armored ship was coming. Yu Huashan was standing at the front of the iron-armored ship with 3 warriors of the Eternal Realm and more than a dozen warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm behind him. He wanted to bring more warriors with him, but there were only 3 warriors of the Eternal Realm left in the Yu family. He was tall and strong. Standing on the deck, he was like a human-shaped beast, emitting an inexplicable sense of ferocity. His eyes were filled with rage and killing intent. He decided to himself that he would not only kill Luli but also everyone within the sphere of influence of the God-Down Island, leaving no one alive. The iron-armored ship reached its top speed. Soon it arrived. It wasn't heading towards the island. It should be flying past the island more than a mile away. Yu Huashan's perception was powerful. When they were about 3 miles away from the island, Yu Huashan glared at the island. After he vaguely sensed 4 figures, he immediately waved his hand and said, "Stop." A warrior at the Fate Wheel Realm stopped the battleship. Yu Huashan looked at the island in confusion. It was too far away for him to sense the realms of the 4. He only knew that there were 4 of them. "Restrain your aura," Luli said in a low voice and then shouted, "Clan leader Yu, I am Luli and I am here to welcome you." Wow, the more than a dozen people on the iron-armored ship became noisy. How dare Luli show up here? And he even came to greet them? If Luli wasn't crazy, then he must have something up his sleeves. Yu Huashan's eyes were filled with ferocity. He waved his hand and said, "Come closer. Brother 6, go and check around." Xiao. An Eternal Realm warrior got off the iron-armored ship and flew to the nearby areas to gather information. The iron-armored ship moved closer slowly. Yu Huashan used his psychic power to check on Luli and the 3 behind him. When the iron-armored ship was about a mile away, Yu Huashan finally had a clear look. The murderous intent in him grew stronger. It was indeed Luli. He had seen Luli's portrait many times. His grandson Yu Lingxiu was killed by Luli. But Yu Huashan didn't act rashly because there were 3 people behind Luli. One of them was Ming Yu. The ghost mask could not hide from warriors of the Noble Lord realm. As for the other 2, he couldn't see their faces clearly. Also, he couldn't tell their realms. If he couldn't see their faces clearly, he could explain it with powerful secret skills. But it was scary that he couldn't even tell their realms. What if there were 2 human sovereign realm warriors? They can't be human sovereign realm warriors. Yu Huashan soon denied this idea. If there were 2 human sovereign realm warriors behind Luli, he would have killed his way to the Bai Emperor Mountain by now. What if there were 2 Noble Lord realm warriors? Yu Huashan's heart was pounding. If there were Noble Lord realm warriors, then he would die here today. Yu Huashan's eyes flickered. He was in a dilemma. Whoosh! The warrior of the Eternal Realm he sent out soon came back. He cupped his fists and said, "Clan leader, there is nobody here. It's just the 4 of them." Yu Huashan still didn't say anything. He controlled the ship to stay where he was, struggling inside. "Ha ha ha!" Luli raised his head and laughed. He said with mockery, "Yu Huashan, you came all the way from the Heaven Prison City just to kill me. Why don't you do it now? Don't you want to avenge Yu Lingxiu and Yu Fainong? I forgot to tell you. Yu Luan is still alive. I have planted soul worms in him. Do you want me to plant some for you as well?" "How dare you!" The Yu family warriors flew into a rage. Yu Huashan, on the other hand, was getting more and more uneasy. Luli was losing his patience. He waved his hand and said, "Kill them all apart from Yu Huashan. Capture Yu Huashan. If you can't kill him." Luli was just joking. Now, he was tempted. If he could capture Yu Huashan and plant soulworms in him, he could have a noble Lord Realm slave. That would be great. Whoosh! Yi Jie was the first to fly out, followed by Mingyu. Yi Shao also moved. The three of them didn't leave anyone to protect Luli because they were confident that they could kill Yu Huashan easily. Nobody could get past them to kill Luli. Three noble Lord Realm warriors. Yu Huashan's pupils contracted like those of a beast. He shouted in panic. He thought quickly. Soon, he made up his mind. He waved his hand and said, "Do it now. Kill Luli." Whoosh! Powerful warriors of the Yu family obeyed the family patriarch's order. They all flew out. Yu Huashan moved as well. A bead of life the size of 2 fingers appeared in his abdomen. Then the bead of life enlarged and turned into a meteorite. He flew onto the bead of life, and then flew to the south in a blur. That was right. Yu Huashan flew to the south. He had sent his family members to their deaths, and he ran away. Being the family patriarch, Yu Huashan was not an idiot. What he did was the best choice. If he didn't run, everyone would die. If he died, the Yu family would be doomed. "Can you still run?" Yi Cha sneered. Then a black glare came from his neck. He sped up so fast that Luli couldn't even see him. Yi Shao did the same. He released his bloodline skill and chased after Yu Huashan. Mingyu didn't join in the fun. A bead of life came out from his abdomen. He shouted, "Force suppress!" The bead of life glowed. Wind and clouds moved and Xianqi surged over. Then the world froze. The 3 warriors of the Eternal Realm, and the more than a dozen warriors of the Fate Will Realm couldn't move anymore. They were suppressed by Mingyu's force. Cut! Mingyu drew a silver sword from his back and swung it forward. A ray of sword light surged forward like a wave. 4 or 5 warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm and one of the Eternal Realm were cut in half at once. Mingyu's long sword danced in the air once again. Another 2 rays of sword light shot out, slicing the bodies in half at the waist. Blood splashed in the air, and the broken bodies fell down. In the time for 2 breaths, all the warriors of the Yu family that came with them were killed. "Mingyu, you are elegant in killing," Luli couldn't help but exclaim. Mingyu sheathed the silver sword on his back, turned to Luli and said calmly, "Killing is an art." Whoosh! Mingyu flew forward like a breeze. Luli shouted, "Take him down if you can. Noble Lord Realm slaves are valuable. P.S. From last Sunday to yesterday, I have been active for a week. I have fulfilled my promise. Today I will restore 3 chapters. Take a break. Now I will update at 6 o'clock every day. 3 chapters every day, 4 on weekends, and at other times, depending on the situation." What was depending on the situation? For example, when I'm asking for monthly votes, I will do it. It was the end of the month. It would be a waste if I didn't do it. From today to tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, if I have more than 200 monthly votes, I will add 1 chapter with no limit. Now I have 1,651 monthly votes. 400 plus 2 chapters. 600 plus 3 chapters, 1,000 plus 5 chapters, 3,000 plus 15 chapters. Come on, don't doubt my fighting capacity. I will do what I say. Chapter 273. Who is Luli? How could he have so many experts by his side? How is that possible? Over the boundless lake, Yu Huashan flew away on his bead of life like a shooting star. His face was as calm as an ancient well, but his heart was in turmoil. 3 warriors of the noble Lord Realm. None of the forces of the northern desert could have such a force. 3 noble Lord Realm warriors would make a 6th rank force. The most powerful ones at the northern desert were only fifth-rank royal families. By family, Z family, Du family and Yi family didn't have three noble Lord Realm warriors. Yu Huashan had information about Mingyu. He also knew that Mingyu knelt to Luli at the Blood Evil Island. However, Mingyu never went to the Blood Evil Island. When Luli went to the Wuling County, Mingyu used a substitute to show up at the heaven-punishing auction house. Therefore, Yu Huashan didn't think too much about it. However, Yu Huashan didn't expect that Luli really was the young master of Mingyu. Also, there were two warriors of the noble Lord Realm, and they were all standing behind Luli. Yu Huashan had to wonder about Luli's identity. Luli is not from the northern desert. He must be from the central plains. Yu Huashan was sure of this. If Mingyu called Luli young master, then Luli's father must be something. Yu Huashan didn't know what happened between Lu Renhuang and Mingyu, so he couldn't tell. Whoosh! From behind came a noise. Yi Cha was catching up. Even though Yu Huashan was traveling at the top of his speed, he was still not fast enough compared to Yi Cha. The Cyan Phoenix race was the fastest race at the Central Plains. If Yi Cha could not even catch up with Yu Huashan at the middle stage of the Noble Lord Realm, then the Cyan Phoenix race wouldn't deserve such a reputation. Yi Cha didn't attack at once. Instead, he walked around Yu Huashan and moved in front of him. Yu Huashan flew forward and so did Yu Huashan. They maintained a distance of half a mile. Xiao. Even though he had just reached the Noble Lord Realm, the Cyan Phoenix race had 8th rank bloodline. The 4 patriarchs had all awakened 8th rank bloodlines. Once they used their bloodline skills, their speed would increase by 10 times. It would be a piece of cake for them to catch up with Yu Huashan. Yi Xiao followed suit. He went to the left side of Yu Huashan and followed him. Behind them was Mingyu. Unfortunately, Mingyu's speed wasn't fast enough. It seemed like he wouldn't be able to catch up in a short period of time. Yi Cha looked at Yi Xiao. A long sword appeared in Yi Xiao's hand. All of a sudden, Yi Xiao rushed toward Yu Huashan and stabbed forward with his sword. He didn't release any Xian energy, but it seemed to pierce through the void. The sword in Yu Huashan's hand suddenly disappeared and then reappeared in front of Yu Huashan. Profound. Only profound meanings could pierce through the void. Yu Huashan could not afford to be careless. He controlled his bead of life to move to the other side at once. At the same time, the flame mark on his neck appeared, condensing into a flaming shield in the air to his left. The sword pierced through the flaming shield and disappeared into nothingness. Yu Huashan suddenly came back to his senses. He shouted angrily, "No, it is not a profound meaning. This is just a secret skill." To be able to pierce through the void, it had to be a space profound. If this was an illusion, then it wasn't a profound. Instead, it was a secret technique derived from a profound. For example, Mingyu was sure that Lu Li's apparition skill was a secret skill derived from profound meaning. Ha ha ha, you have been fooled. Yi Cha laughed. He disappeared on the spot and came over in a gust of wind. Yi Xiao didn't know profound meanings. He was just cooperating with Yu Huashan. Yi Xiao was the main attacker. Yu Huashan turned to Yi Cha at once, trying to find the real Yi Cha with psychic power. By the time Yu Huashan found Yi Cha was already above his head. A pair of golden hooks appeared in Yi Cha's hands. He shouted coldly, "Yu Huashan, I will show you what a high-level profound meaning is." Yi Cha waved his hooks in the air. The wind and clouds moved and Xian Qi surged over. Yi Cha swung his hooks downwards and shouted, "Profound meaning, space splitting." Swish! The profound Qi that was swarming over all condensed into claws that were as big as a human body, and they were even emitting a golden light. The claws condensed too quickly, 1, 2, 10, 100 in the end, hundreds of claws appeared in the sky and reached down. Everywhere the claws passed, there were tiny cracks in the space. It was as if space was being torn apart. Horrifying, even though Lu Li was far away, how could he not see such a powerful force? The huge golden claws were everywhere, as if they were the claws of a god, about to split the sky. Go! How could Lu Li miss out on such a shocking fight? He dashed into the water and dived over as fast as he could. Profound meaning of sparks, shield of sparks. Yu Huashan shouted. He used his profound meaning as well, and it was perfectly integrated with his bloodline skill. Flames kept coming out from the flame mark on his neck, and they entered his bead of life. Then the bead of life began to spin. Blue dragons of fire shot out from the bead of life. Those dragons of fire soared up to the sky and hovered around in midair. It quickly condensed into a huge shield, blocking the golden claws that came whistling down. Boom, 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 the golden claws and the shield formed by the blue dragons of fire bumped into each other. Loud noises came out. There were already cracks in the space. Now there were more cracks like a broken mirror. Yu Huashan's shield of sparks was strong. The claws couldn't break the shield. One by one, the claws disappeared in mid-air. However, the shield formed by the blue fire dragon gradually dimmed and lost its luster. Whoosh! Mingyu finally made it. He stood on the right side of Yu Huashan, ready to take action at any time. After all the golden claws disappeared, Yi Cha dashed over to Yu Huashan and said with a smile, Yu Huashan, your profound meaning is not bad. It has been integrated well with your bloodline skill. But I only used 30% of my power. Do you think you can defend against 100% of my power? Also, I can tell you that my profound meaning is of the 6th rank. 6th rank. Yu Huashan's pupils contracted. His profound meaning was not of a high rank, only of the 2nd rank. But it was integrated with the bloodline skill and its power was increased to the 3rd rank. Yi Cha's profound meaning was only of the 6th rank? At this rank, he wouldn't lie to others, not to mention about something like this. He had seen the power of the space-splitting profound meaning. He almost couldn't defend against it. That was only 30%. How horrifying would it be if it was 100%? Yu Huashan, I am sorry, but I have learned the 2nd rank profound meaning, force. Mingyu said. His voice was as cold as a glacier. You should know that force is a profound meaning related to space. It will be hard to kill you, but it will be easy to trap you. Once I trap you, do you think you can survive one move from him with the space-splitting profound meaning? Yu Huashan didn't say anything. Mingyu's force was of the 2nd rank. It was not a high rank, but it was a profound meaning related to space, which was the most difficult to deal with. If the two of them worked together, Yu Huashan would be killed in one move. Mingyu said after a pause, Yu Huashan, I am not weaker than you, but I am willing to serve Lu Li as my master. As long as you serve our young master for 100 years, we will not make things difficult for you. Before Yu Huashan could reply, Yi Cha said in a deep voice, Yu Huashan, to tell you the truth, we are Lu Li's servants as well. It will not be a disgrace to you to serve our young master for 100 years. If you don't want to be a slave, then kill yourself. You can still die in one piece. But your Yu family will be annihilated. Yu Huashan's eyes flickered. After the time for a few breaths, he made up his mind and asked, I want to know, what is Lu Li's identity that makes him worthy of you three serving him? Bang. Chapter 274. Yu Huashan was struggling. He would die if he didn't surrender. Based on what Lu Li had done recently, there was no way he could survive. Young as Lu Li was, he was cruel and merciless. Many died in his hands. Surrender? To be a slave to a warrior of the Soul Pond realm? Yu Huashan's reputation would be ruined. All powerful warriors had dignity and pride. It was not easy to cultivate to this realm. He was one of the most powerful warriors of the northern desert. Also, Lu Li killed Yu Lingshu. Yu Feijia and Yu Fainong all died because of Lu Li. One of the three warriors of the Eternal Realm was his brother, and he was killed by Mingyu as well. To be a slave to his enemy? This was more difficult than death. But, if he didn't surrender, the Yu family would be destroyed. It would be a piece of cake for Lu Li and the 3 warriors of the noble Lord Realm to destroy the Yu family. Any one of them could level the Yu Emperor city to the ground. Lu Li saw Yu Huashan's eyes flickering and his face turning pale. He knew that Yu Huashan was struggling. Lu Li thought about it and said, Yu Huashan, don't be so conflicted. The winner takes it all. This is normal. Yu Luan is with me now. How smart is he? You will not lose face if you follow me. Maybe the Yu family will soar because of this and you will be blessed. Lu Li was talking nonsense. He had turned into a fraud. He was tempted by a slave of the noble Lord Realm. More importantly, with Yu Huashan, he would have 4 warriors of the noble Lord Realm. The Bai Emperor Mountain only had 4 as well. Du Jing might not show up, so it would be 4 against 4. Yu Huashan had a chance. Yu Huashan was still hesitating. He was struggling. After some thoughts, he made up his mind and said, Lu Li, I would rather die if you don't tell me who you are. If Lu Li didn't have a special identity, why would he have 3 warriors of the noble Lord Realm following him? Yu Huashan didn't believe it. He had dignity and pride, but so did Ming Yu and the others. Who would be willing to follow a young man of the Soul Pond realm? Lu Li was talented, but he hadn't awakened his bloodline. What future did he have? It was Lu Li's turn to hesitate. He didn't want to reveal his identity. In other words, he didn't want to borrow the Lu clan's influence. He was very unfamiliar with the Lu clan and didn't have much affection for them. Ever since he was young, he had always relied on himself. With the Lu family's influence, he felt that he had become a hedonistic young master like Su Yaoyang. After pondering for half an incense stick's time, he finally made a decision. He didn't want to borrow the Lu clan's power, but he could borrow his father's power. He said, Let me put it this way. My father's cultivation level is above yours, and he can sweep away anyone in the same cultivation level. Human Emperor! Yu Huashan's expression changed. Then he suddenly remembered someone, a young powerful warrior who once created havoc at the Bai Emperor Mountain. Although the Bai family had blocked the news, he still managed to catch wind of it. Lu Li? Lu? Yu Huashan's eyes glowed. He asked in a deep voice, Your father is Lu Renhuang? Lu Li nodded slightly. Yu Huashan trembled and a trace of bitterness appeared on the corner of his mouth. He cursed Yu Feijia hundreds of times in his mind. Did Yu Feijia offend Lu Renhuang's children? Lu Renhuang reached the human sovereign realm in 20 years and almost killed the old man of heaven prison with one move. It was understandable that Lu Li had 3 warriors of the noble Lord Realm following him. Yu Huashan thought about it, made up his mind and said, It is not shameful to follow you. But I need you to ensure the safety of the Yu family. Also, if the Yu family is in trouble, you must help. Once Yu Huashan followed Lu Li, he would not be able to take care of the Yu family. Without a warrior of the noble Lord Realm to protect the Yu Emperor city, it could be easily destroyed by other families. Lu Li was in deep thoughts. He would go to the Central Plains after he finished the business here. There were many powerful warriors at the Central Plains. Warriors of the Cyan Phoenix race could not go to the Central Plains. Naturally, Lu Li hoped to take Yu Huashan and Ming Yu with him so they could look after each other on the way. How could he take care of the Yu family if he took Yu Huashan with him? Lu Li looked at Yi Cha, who understood and nodded. Lu Li was relieved. Yi Cha said he could take care of the Yu family. Lu Li looked at Yu Huashan and said, I agree to your request. If you are still worried, I can swear. No. Yu Huashan said decisively, I don't think the son of Lu Renhuang will lie to me. With that said, Yu Huashan bowed, cupped his fists and said, Greetings, young master. Young master? Lu Li forced a smile. It seemed that Yu Huashan still didn't recognize him. He bowed to Lu Renhuang because of him. But it was understandable. Nobody would laugh at Yu Huashan when he bowed to a warrior of the human sovereign realm. What was more, Lu Renhuang could defeat any warrior of the human sovereign realm. If he were not trapped in the ice abyss, all the warriors of the northern desert would bow to him. Lu Li looked at Yi Cha, who took out 3 white pellets. Yi Cha threw them to Yu Huashan and said, "Take them. These are soul worm pellets. Your soul is strong, so you must plant 3 soul worms in them." Yu Huashan took over the pellet. A glint of pain and humiliation appeared in his eyes. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He looked like he had aged 10 years in an instant. He raised his trembling hand and threw the pellets into his mouth. His face twisted like a ferocious beast. Ming Yu, Yi Cha and Yi Xiao could all understand Yu Huashan's pain. What he lost was not his freedom but his dignity. It was like when a prostitute received a customer for the first time. What they sold was not their bodies but their dignity. Yi Cha took out a jade talisman. Xian energy glowed in his hand and the jade talisman gradually lit up. Ming Yu, Yi Cha and Yi Xiao all used their psychic power to sense the soul worms in Yu Huashan's body. After the time for one incense stick to burn, the jade talisman in Yi Cha's hand stopped glowing. Ming Yu said to Lu Li in a low voice, "The 3 soul worms are all in Yu Huashan's soul pond. Yu Huashan's soul is not strong enough to destroy the soul worms. Also, once he touches one soul worm, the other 2 will gnaw at his soul pond. Yu Huashan will die right away. The soul worms are of a higher level. There will be no problem." Yi Cha flew over and handed the jade talisman to Lu Li. Only when Lu Li consumed the jade talisman would he have a connection with the soul worms. Yu Huashan dared not to do anything to Lu Li. Lu Li was the master of the soul worm. Once Yu Huashan wanted to kill Lu Li or disobeyed Lu Li's orders, the soul worm would protect its master and bite Yu Huashan's soul pond. Lu Li released his Xian energy to consume the jade talisman. Soon, he established a spiritual connection with the soul worms. He nodded with satisfaction and said, "Yu Huashan, the feud between me and the Yu family is over. I will set Yu Luan free and let him go back to the Yu family. Naturally, I will do what I promised you." "Thank you, young master." Yu Huashan bowed again. In such a short time, there were wrinkles around the corner of his eyes and some white hairs appeared by his ears. You could imagine how shocked he was just now. "Let's go back." Lu Li waved his hand and Ming Yu took him on the waves. Soon, they arrived at the iron-armored ship. The others followed. Looking at the floating bodies, Yu Huashan's mouth twitched. His eyes were filled with pain. "Let's go back first. I'll get someone to bring the body back and give it a proper burial." Lu Li's hatred towards the Yu family faded away after he took Yu Huashan as his slave. The deceased was gone. For the sake of Yu Huashan, it was not a big deal to bury him. Yi Xiao controlled the iron-armored ship and flew towards the God-Down City. It was not far away from the God-Down City. In less than an hour they arrived. When Lu Li flew down with the other 4, Peiyan and the others saw Yu Huashan standing behind Lu Li with respect. The group of people were all dumbstruck. They were tongue-tied and unable to utter a single word. Lu Li paid no attention to them. He walked into the hall with the other 4. As soon as he got in, he looked at Yu Huashan and asked, "If we go to the Bai Emperor Mountain, do we have a chance of winning?" Chapter 275. Du Jing. Lu Li and Ming Yu looked at each other. Both of them were solemn. Yi Cha and Ming Yu didn't know much about what was going on outside, so they didn't have much of a reaction. The second most powerful warrior on the Northern Desert Warlord list was even more powerful than the Old Man of Heaven Prison. If he were to make a move, Yi Cha and Ming Yu would be no match for him. Lu Li looked at Yu Huashan with curiosity and asked, "It is said that there is a mysterious powerful warrior in the Haunted Hollow who helped you kill the Old Man of Heaven Prison. Is it Du Jing?" Yu Huashan thought about it and said, "I am not sure, but I think it is very likely." "Not sure?" Lu Li was taken aback and so was Ming Yu. The haunted hollow was the scheme of Yu Huashan and the others. How come he didn't know the identity of the mysterious powerful warrior? Yu Huashan explained, as a matter of fact, the Yu family is not the leader of this. It is Du Heng, the king of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom. Yu Fainong and the other two came to kill you. Actually, they sent them to their deaths on purpose. Their purpose was to enrage the old man of Heaven Prison and lure him out of the Thousand-Island Lake to the haunted hollow to kill him. What? Lu Li was shocked. Yu Fainong and the other two were not here to kill him, but to die? That was so cruel. Yu Huashan continued, after Bai Shi came back from the Yu Emperor City, Du Heng sent someone to contact us. I went to the Heaven Frigid Kingdom secretly. Du Heng made a plan and the other two royal family patriarchs came. Du Heng promised that he could kill the old man of Heaven Prison, so we set up the plan. Du Heng invited that mysterious powerful warrior. Yu Huashan paused for a bit and said, that mysterious warrior didn't do anything directly. He helped us build a formation in the haunted hollow to trap the old man of Heaven Prison so that we could kill him. Because they didn't do anything, the old man of Heaven Prison had the chance to kill the Yi family patriarch. Bai Shi could die with a noble Lord Realm warrior, and Bai Lung could escape. If that mysterious powerful warrior had done something, the old man of Heaven Prison wouldn't have had the chance to kill the Yi family patriarch. Because I can feel that person's combat capability is horrifying, no weaker than the old man of Heaven Prison. In the northern desert, only two people are stronger than the old man of Heaven Prison. It is impossible for the temple to do anything. So it must be Du Jing. The reason why I could deduce that it was Du Jing was because he didn't make a move. Du Jing was a member of the Central Prefecture's Du family. A few of the top clans and forces in the Central Prefecture had an agreement. The families of the Central Plains cannot get involved in the conflicts of the other plains unless the Du family gives up their territory in the Central Plains and wholeheartedly develops in the Northern Desert. One more thing. The forces of the Northern Desert have been suspecting that the Du family of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom is related to the Du family of the Central Plains. It's very possible that the Du family of the Heaven Cold Nation is actually a branch of the Du family of the Central Prefecture. The Du family of the Central Plains secretly sent a branch to the Northern Desert to develop. Then they helped the Du family of the Northern Desert to unify the Northern Desert. The mysterious expert was also invited by Du Heng, so there is an 80% chance that the mysterious expert is Du Jing. Lu Li and Ming Yu understood after Yu Huashan's explanation. Yi Cha and Ming Yu didn't quite understand, so they didn't ask. Lu Li thought about it and found Yu Huashan's deduction was reasonable. Was it because the Heaven Frigid Kingdom had only been established for 15 years? The Heaven Punishing Auction House had not been in the Northern Desert for long. The king of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom was surnamed Du, and the Heaven Punishing Auction House was also backed by the Du family. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? Something is not right. Lu Li had a question. He asked, Yu Huashan, didn't you say that Du Jing cannot get involved in the conflicts of the Northern Desert? Doesn't that mean he can't do anything in broad daylight? If he can't do anything, then what do we have to be afraid of? Yu Huashan forced a smile, cupped his fists and said, Young master, he can't do anything in broad daylight because he can't leave any evidence. What if Du Jing takes action by force and kills everyone here? What if he disguises himself and does it secretly? As long as there is no evidence, the big families of the Central Plains will not care. For the big families of the Central Plains, the Northern Desert is just a barren land in the middle of nowhere. Mingyu thought about it and said, Young master, you cannot act rashly. If Du Jing really has something to do with Du Heng, then the Du family of the Central Plains will help the Du family of the Northern Desert to unify the Northern Desert. If you go to the Bai Emperor Mountain, you will be ruining the Du family's plan. Du Jing will definitely do something. Yi Cha and Mingyu said nothing. For them, any decision of Lu Li's was right. they would carry it out without reservation. Because Luli was the Holy Lord, the two of them were his loyal followers. Let's wait and see. Luli didn't dare to act rashly. It was not a joke to offend the second most powerful warrior of the northern desert. Luli called Payan over and asked him to send a message to ask about the situation at the Bai Emperor Mountain. Then, he would wait for the right time. The situation at the Bai Emperor Mountain was not good or bad. Hundreds of people kept striking at the mountain protection formation, but it was like a turtle shell that could not be cracked. The hundreds of people were like a group of kids with wooden sticks. They could not crack the turtle shell no matter how hard they tried. The mountain protection formation just kept glowing and didn't even tremble one bit. The warriors on the ground had put their minds at ease. It seemed like the formation wouldn't be cracked in a couple of days. Some people were heartless and simple-minded. They thought that the people outside would never be able to crack the mountain protection formation. They even started to mock and provoke the warriors outside. Some even insulted Du Heng and the others. Madame Yen looked at the colorful shield above her head. She leaned back in her chair and closed her eyes to rest for a while. She exhaled and murmured, "We should be able to hold on for 5 or 6 days. I hope a miracle will happen." "Miracle?" Bai Xiaoshuang asked with curiosity. "Auntie, are you saying that Luli will come and save us?" "Ha ha." Madame Yen forced a smile and said, "Don't count on Luli. I know him very well. If he could help, he would have come a long time ago. I am counting on the other 2 parties. Of course, the chances are slim." 2 parties? Bai Qiushue was surprised. She couldn't think of anyone else at the northern desert that could help the Bai family. How did Madame Yen find help from 2 families without batting an eyelid? Madame Yen rubbed her temples and explained in a low voice, "One of them is the temple. I offered all the wealth, mystical materials and treasures of the Bai family and asked the chief steward of the temple to help. Clearly, the temple didn't do anything. Otherwise, these people wouldn't even be able to get into the Heaven Prison City." Bai Qiushue nodded. The temple had never been involved in any disputes between forces. It had been hundreds of thousands of years, and they never made an exception. It was unlikely that they would help just for some mystical materials and treasures of the Bai family. Bai Qiushue asked, "Auntie, what about the other party?" Madame Yen pointed to the southeast and said, "The Cyan Plains. The most overlord of the Cyan Plains, the Sun Palace, is a 7th-rank family. As long as the Sun Palace sends some powerful warriors over, the situation at the northern desert will be solved. After our forefather died, I sent a message to a small family at the Cyan Plains in a special way and asked them to contact the Sun Palace. Unfortunately, there is no reply yet." The Sun Palace. Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang had a glimmer of hope. They had heard of the Sun Palace. It was the well-deserved overlord of the Cyan Plains. Forces like the Palace of Goddess could not compete with it. A 7th-rank family had 3 human sovereign realm warriors. Any one of them could suppress all the forces at the northern desert. The major families of the Central Plains had an agreement that the families and forces of the Central Plains could not enter other plains. However, the major families of the Central Plains could not control the other plains. It was not a big deal for powerful warriors of the Cyan Plains to come to the northern desert to help. Ghost Snake Granny even went to the Ice Abyss to snatch the essence blood of the Beast King and killed warriors of the Yu family. 5 or 6 days. Chapter 276. There was no miracle. 3 days had passed and there was no news from the Cyan Plains. The massacre at the Thousand Island Lake was still going on. More than half of the Thousand Island Lake had fallen. More than half of the 4th-rank islands had fallen. More than 1 million people had been killed or injured. Luckily, the allied forces of the 3 kingdoms were tired and they had vented most of their anger. The leaders of the teams started to restrain their men, fearing that they would be punished for their sins. Even so, every city fell. Everywhere the armies passed by would be scorched. All the treasures, Xian crystals, Xian artifacts, and even the herbs in the farms would be taken away. Girls would be lucky if they were ugly, but pretty girls would end up miserable. Several armies appeared in the territory of the God-Down City as well. Payan and the other scouts noticed them at once. Luli sent Nightingale to kill all of them. Luli struggled for several days. Payan kept sending back information. The Heaven Prison City had fallen, but the Emperor Mountain was still holding on. The mountain protection formation was unbreakable. 700 or 800 powerful warriors had been attacking for 3 days, but the formation was not shaken. That being said, the 7-colored glow was dimming. Clearly, the energy in the formation was being consumed. It could not hold on for more than a few days. 3 days ago, Luli asked Yi Cha to go back to the small world. The other 3 patriarchs were still in closed-door cultivation, so Luli didn't dare to do anything. He wouldn't do anything unless he was 80% sure. He couldn't send people to their deaths just to save people. It would be unfair to Yi Cha, Ming Yu and the others. Time moved on. Another 2 days passed by. The Emperor Mountain sent back messages that the mountain protection formation was getting dimmer. It was in danger of being broken at any moment. Luli was sitting on pins and needles. He paced up and down in the hall of the God-Down City, waiting for a miracle. Or he could wait for the news that the Emperor Mountain was broken and everyone was killed. It was dusk. 4 dark shadows came from the God-Down City. They flew across the plaza in the city like ghosts and rushed into the hall where Luli was. Ming Yu and Yu Huashan, who were standing behind Luli, had their eyes lit up. Yi Cha laughed and said, "Good, very good. They have made the breakthrough." 4 men in sackcloth with blurry faces appeared in front of Luli. They bowed and said, "Greetings, young master." 3 more noble Lord Realm warriors. Ming Yu and Yu Huashan looked at each other. Both were shocked. Among the 4, one of them was Yi Shao and the other 2 were able to detect it, but the auras of the other 3 were very unfamiliar. "Good, very good." Luli was overjoyed. The patriarchs of the Cyan Phoenix race didn't waste his rising dragon grasses. 5 of them had reached the Noble Lord Realm. Now, Luli had 7 Noble Lord Realm warriors working for him. He looked at Yu Huashan and said, "Yu Huashan, can we go to the Emperor Mountain now? I just want to save Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang. They are my friends." Yu Huashan thought about it. After a while, he said, "If you want to protect the Bai family, I think it will be difficult. Du Jing will probably take action. We still have no chance of winning. And if you only want to save 2 people, I think there is still a lot of hope. Du Jing should have some misgivings. Young Lord reveals your identity. Saving them will definitely not be a problem." "I can't reveal my identity," Luli said with certainty. He looked at Yi Cha and said, "Clan leader Yi, can you fight against a warrior at the peak of the Noble Lord Realm?" Du Jing should have learned a profound meaning of the 5th or 6th rank. After a moment of silence, Yi Cha nodded and said, "If you are sure about this, then it is okay. I can stop him for a while. At least, he cannot kill me." Okay. Luli's confidence was boosted. With Yi Cha stopping Du Jing, he had 6 Noble Lord Realm warriors on his side. How could they lose to Du Heng, Zi Huanyu and the other 3? Luli shouted, "Payan, get your ass in here." Payan rushed in from outside. Luli ordered, "Activate the teleportation formation now. We are going to the Heaven Prison City. Also, all of you go to the Blood Evil Island. If there are invaders that you cannot defeat, spread out and wait for me to come back." Yes. Payan followed Luli's orders obediently now. Luli waved his hand and said, "Let's go to the Heaven Prison City." Mingyu asked with hesitation, "Young master, how about you don't go and we do our best?" "Wrong." Yu Huashan answered, "Young master, if you go, you might be able to stop Du Jing at the critical moment." Mingyu said nothing more after some thoughts. Luli had already rushed out. Pei-en had someone reactivate the teleportation formation. Luli and the other 7 rushed in. Boom, 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 the Emperor Mountain was glaring as if there were 700 or 800 fireworks going off at any moment. It was almost dusk. The light from the explosion was so bright that people at the Heaven Prison City could see it clearly. Tens of thousands of warriors on the ground all drew their weapons and Xian energy was glowing. The moment the formation was broken, they would rush to all sides and find the armies of the 3 kingdoms to kill and drag some of them down with them. The few warriors of the Eternal Realm and the Fate Wheel Realm of the Bai family released their Fate Wheels. Many of them were advanced in age. They didn't want to wait for death in the small world. They were ready to be buried at the Bai Emperor Mountain. The mountain protection formation was as thin as a piece of paper. The glow it gave off was no longer colorful. It was getting dimmer and dimmer. It was in danger of being blasted open at any time. In the sky, 2 iron-armored ships floated quietly like 2 beasts in the void. The deck was full of people. Du Heng, Zi Huanyu, Qi Tianhe and Yi Li were all there. On the other side, Du Xiling, Yi Yuhan, Zi Lian and a group of young masters and young ladies stood there in silence, waiting for the final battle. Or rather, they were waiting for the Bai Emperor Mountain to be dyed red with blood. Zi Lian and Yi Yuhan couldn't bear to see this. But as the most outstanding disciples of their 2 families, they had to shoulder the responsibility of revitalizing their families and protecting their people. No matter how talented a genius was, he or she must go through the baptism of blood and fire. Otherwise, he or she could never assume responsibility and grow up. The Heaven Prison City was peaceful. There was no bloodbath in the city. Many small families weren't robbed. At the moment, many civilians were standing in the city, looking to the north, waiting for the mountain protection formation to be broken. They all knew very well that after the Bai Emperor Mountain was bloodied, the Heaven Prison City would be next. Boom! When it was getting dark, the mountain protection formation finally began to shake violently. It was as if a bubble was popped. The mountain protection formation vanished. Bai Dishan was like a shy girl, naked in front of a group of robbers. Buzzing, at the same time, a teleportation formation in the Heaven Prison City lit up. A ray of light pierced through the clouds, lighting up the dark night. Many despairing and gloomy eyes lit up again. 8 people appeared in the teleportation formation. Luli looked to the north at once. He saw that the mountain protection formation was broken. He was burning with anxiety. Without any hesitation, he used his dragon roar skill at once. He bellowed, "Who dares to hurt Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang? I will wipe out his entire family." Hearing the familiar voice, Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang, who had drawn out their weapons in the pavilion, trembled. Tears ran down from their eyes. Chapter 277. Bang! Madame Yen slapped on a table in the pavilion. The table was smashed into pieces. Then the entire pavilion suddenly glowed. A small 7-colored shield enveloped the pavilion. Madame Yen was about to slap on another table which had a mechanism in it. Once the mechanism was activated, the teleportation formation hidden under the pavilion would be activated. The 3 of them would be teleported away in an instant to the entrance to the small world. Ever since Du Heng and the others arrived at the Bai Emperor Mountain, Madame Yen had never left the pavilion. There must be a reason. Madame Yen and Yuluan were the same kind of people who would never put themselves at death's door. Bai Qiushue was right. Bai Qiushue was right. Madame Yen would definitely take them away at the last moment, instead of dying with them. That being said, at that moment, Madame Yen stopped. A glint of hesitation appeared in her eyes. The shield outside the pavilion would not last long. If Luli was here to court death and they were delayed, then they would die with Luli. In the end, Madame Yen decided to wait and see. Lu Li's roar had shocked Du Heng and all the powerful warriors on the Bai Emperor Mountain. The dragon roar skill was powerful and its sound was earth-shattering. Lu Li's tone was arrogant. Du Heng and the others all looked to the south. There were many people at the plaza of the Heaven Prison City watching. Lu Li's roar made many people bleed from their eyes, ears, noses and mouth. They rolled around on the ground, hugging their heads and howling in pain. Whoosh! Powerful warriors of the three kingdoms that were staying in the city flew over at once. Warriors guarding outside the teleportation formation drew their weapons as well. That being said, there were not many powerful warriors in the city, only 2 of the Eternal Realm, more than a dozen of the Fate Wheel Realm and many of the Soul Pond Realm. They were all injured by Lu Li's Dragon Roar skill. Kill the Fate Wheel Realm warriors. Take down the Eternal Realm warriors. Lu Li waved his hand. Yi Xiao rushed out with several warriors. All the Fate Wheel Realm warriors that got close were killed. Ming Yu released his force at once and suppressed the 2 Eternal Realm warriors. Yi Xiao and the others took down the 2 Eternal Realm warriors after they killed the Fate Wheel Realm warriors. Ming Yu, iron-armored ship. Lu Li shouted again. Ming Yu's ring lit up. An iron-armored ship expanded and floated above the city. Go! Lu Li flew up and Yi Cha and the others followed him. Yi Xiao and another patriarch grabbed 2 Eternal Realm warriors by their necks and boarded the iron-armored ship. The flying ship flashed and flew towards the Bai Di mountain. Wow, the city was in an uproar. Many warriors of the Soul Pond realm of the 3 kingdoms came to their senses at this moment. Looking at the iron-armored ship flying away, many people were shocked and confused. Why were there so many powerful warriors around Lu Li? Why was Yu Huashan with Lu Li? The Heaven Prison City was very close to the Bai Emperor Mountain. It would only take them a short while by carriage. The iron-armored ship was so fast that it arrived at the Bai Emperor Mountain in the time for a dozen breath. Wow, people on the Bai Emperor Mountain and in the air were shocked. Many people looked as if they had seen a ghost in broad daylight. He stared at Lu Li and the several mysterious powerful warriors with him. He couldn't believe his eyes when he saw Yu Huashan. All the powerful warriors stood behind Lu Li, including Yu Huashan. What did this mean? Positioning was a very important thing. It was related to the relationship between the master and the follower. If they were friends, then they would stand side by side. If they were Lu Li's seniors or masters, then Lu Li would be standing behind them. It just so happened that Lu Li was standing in the front with 7 powerful warriors behind him. Yu Huashan was the most important one. Yu Lingxiu died in the hands of Lu Li, Bai Qiushue and Bai Shi disgraced the Yu family. Yu Luan and the others were annihilated when they attacked the God-Down Island. Yu Huashan went to kill Lu Li in person. Yu Huashan and Lu Li were mortal enemies. How come he was standing behind Lu Li? Many people could not understand. Du Heng, Zi Huanyu, Qi Tianhe and Yi Li couldn't either. Madame Yan, Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang were confused as well. But soon, Madame Yan's eyes glowed. Her tired face was glowing. She murmured absent-mindedly, "A miracle has happened. Like father, like son. Lu Renhuang's son really has guts." Lu Li looked to the outdoor pavilion and saw Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang, who were skinnier than flowers and had tear stains on their pretty faces. Somehow, Lu Li felt sorry for them. How did the 2 girls get through these days? Lu Li Zilian looked at Lu Li with mixed feelings. She once had the chance to bring Lu Li back to the Z family, but she missed it. When Lu Li went to the Thousand Island Lake, he was standing on the opposite side of the Z family. Later, when Lu Li killed Yu Lingxiu at the tomb of Dragon King, he saved Zilian's life. When they met again after that, he was standing on the opposite side of the enemy. There was no more chance to turn things around. Somehow, she felt fate was playing tricks on her. Lu Li! Du Xiling, on the other hand, shouted while clenching his teeth. Some young masters of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom behind him were filled with hatred. Inside the tomb of the Dragon King, Luli broke their bones and made them unable to see anyone for a month after they went back. They hated Luli to the core. Du Heng snorted, which attracted everyone's attention. Du Heng's eyes were as sharp as an eagle's. When he glanced at Luli's face, he felt like he was being cut by a knife. He stared at Yu Huashan and coldly said, "Yu Huashan, what the hell are you doing? How come you are with Luli?" Yu Huashan was the most embarrassed one here. His face was burning. He was the family patriarch of a fifth-rank family, a powerful warrior of the noble Lord Realm, one of the most powerful warriors of the northern desert. But now, he had become someone else's slave. Many people here were familiar with him. They had sat together many times, drinking and chatting merrily. Now he, a warrior of the noble Lord Realm, had become someone else's slave. It almost made him want to crawl into the ground. His expressions changed and his eyes flickered. Finally, he made up his mind and said, "Luli is my young master. Of course, I will follow him." What? Everyone was in an uproar. Many people felt like life was like a drama. Reality was more wonderful than novels. Young master. Du Heng and the others heard something special from this word. Young master meant that Yu Huashan had surrendered to Luli's father? Who was Luli's father and how powerful was he that he could make a warrior of the noble Lord Realm surrender? Luli waved his hand to Yi Shao and the other patriarch. Yi Shao and the other patriarch threw the captured warriors of the Eternal Realm forward. Luli looked at the 4 warriors of the noble Lord Realm and said, "Guys, I am here for no other reason. I want to take 3 people with me, Bai Qiushue, Bai Xiaoshuang and Bai Yan. I don't want to be enemies with you. Can you do me a favor?" Luli wanted to save Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang. After all, he owed them his life. However, Madame Yen was on the same side as the twins. Based on his understanding of Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang, the twins would not leave without Madame Yen. Ha ha! Before Du Heng could say anything, Yi Li, the 3rd patriarch of the Yi family of the Heaven-Cold Kingdom, sneered. He glanced over to Madame Yen, Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang and said with mockery, "Do you a favor? Luli, who do you think you are? My family patriarch was killed by the old man of the Heaven Prison. I must take the 3 women back to pay homage to him. If you don't want to die, piss off." Zi Huanyu said nothing. Qi Tianhe continued, "That's right. Luli, we have been working so hard for so long and we have gained nothing. You want to take them away with just one word? How can it be so easy?" As far as Qi Tianhe was concerned, in order to get the wealth of the Bai family, Madame Yen must be taken care of. They had worked so hard to come here just for the wealth that the Bai family had been accumulating for years. Du Heng sneered. A huge saber appeared in his hand as he shouted, "You want to take them away? Then you must ask my saber first." So, there is no room for negotiation? Lu Li's expressions turned cold. He stepped back, waved his hands and said, "Let's go. Kill anyone who dares to stop us. P.S. You are so powerful. Yesterday there were 1,651 vote. Now there were 2,151. 500 votes had scared the old man. Cut to the chase. 200 for 1 vote plus 2 chapters. 5 chapters. Chapter 278. Yi Cha rushed toward the Bai Emperor Mountain with the other 4. Ming Yu moved as well. Yu Huashan was the only one who stayed put. Yu Huashan and everyone here knew each other, so it would be inappropriate for him to make a move. What was more, Yu Huashan had the spark profound meaning, which could be combined with his bloodline skill to form the spark shield, which was quite good in defense and suitable to protect Lu Li. Yi Jie and the others had already released their bloodline divine skills to prevent others from seeing through their 8th rank bloodline. The 4 of them controlled their speed so that they were not too fast. They seemed to be just like average warriors at the initial stage of the Noble Lord Realm. The four of them flew straight to the outdoor attic, as if they were going to take Madame Yen, Bai Qiushue, and Bai Xiaoshuang away by force. Humph! Yi Li of the Heaven Frigid Kingdom was the first to move. A bead of life appeared in his abdomen. Like Yu Huashan, the bead of life grew into a meteorite with a diameter of 10 feet. Black qi swirled around it, emitting an indescribable ferocious aura. Come out! The purple beast mark on Yi Li's neck appeared. A cloud of dark purple air came out and formed a shadow of a demonic wolf. The shadow of the demonic wolf rushed into his bead of life. Combine! Yi Li roared again and his bead of life transformed into a demonic wolf. It was a huge demonic wolf with a metallic texture, a ferocious demonic wolf. Lu Li was amazed. He had seen Yi Yuhan release her bloodline skill, which was a shadow of a demon wolf. At this moment, the bloodline skill was released by Yi Li and it merged with the bead of life. The fusion was not important, but the demon wolf had actually turned into a physical entity. Young master. Seeing that Lu Li was confused, Yu Huashan explained, Fate wheel is mysterious. Young master, you will know when you make one. The natal bead is formed by the fusion of 9 fate wheels. It's even more magical and has endless uses. Ha 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 ha. Yi Cha laughed, attracting Lu Li's attention. The reason why Yi Cha and the others rushed to the pavilion was to attract Du Heng and Yi Li. Yi Jie and the other four suddenly fell down, and Ming Yu's heavenly jewels appeared in his lower abdomen, revolving around him. The wind and clouds in the surroundings suddenly changed, and a terrifying heavenly might enveloped the surroundings. Both Yi Li and the bead of life that had turned into a demon wolf slowed down. Bang! Yi Cha and the others all fell down. The 5 of them jumped up immediately after they landed. 4 of them went behind Yi Li while Yi Cha dashed towards Yi Li alone. Ming Yu and Yi Cha's team coordinated perfectly. Yi Cha's team of 5 would attract the enemy's attention, while Ming Yu used his Shi to suppress them. Yi Xiao and the other 3 went to stop Du Heng and Qi Tianhe, while Yi Cha attacked Yi Li. Yi Cha increased her speed, but she still hadn't reached her limit. He didn't want to expose the horrifying speed of the Cyan Phoenix race unless it was absolutely necessary. With Ming Yu's power, it would be enough to injure Yi Li. Do it! Du Heng realized that something was wrong. If he didn't act now, Yi Li would be killed. The saber in his hand suddenly slashed out a beam of light. The beam of light was surging with a murderous aura, slashing towards the 4 elders of the Cyan Phoenix clan. Whoosh! Yi Xiao and the others did not dare to be careless. They immediately increased their speed and easily dodged the attack. The 4 of them transformed into numerous afterimages and turned into wisps of serene wind that fluttered in the sky. From time to time, the 4 of them would release their heavenly jewels, but it was just to borrow strength in midair. Hoi! Qi Tianhe made his move. A golden bow appeared in his hand and a blue bloodline mark appeared on his neck. Countless thin blue lines flowed into his golden bow. He kept shooting arrows. Surrounded by blue air currents, the long arrows pierced through the sky and shot directly at Yi Xiao and the others. Get down! Yi Cha had already rushed to the front of Yi Li. A pair of golden hooks appeared in his hands as he released the sky-splitting profound meaning. Yi Li waved the hook forward for a few times, and the wind and clouds around him started to move. Golden claws were formed one after another, tearing the space apart and covering Yi Li in it. Come back! Yi Li was anxious. He controlled the demon wolf that was transformed from the heavenly jewels to come back. However, both he and the demon wolf were affected by Ming Yu's power. Their speed was greatly reduced and they couldn't come back quickly. The golden claws were coming at him. Yi Li had no choice but to take out a round black shield from his space ring and put it in front of him. The Xian energy in his hands glowed and the black shield was glowing. It was obviously a heaven-grade Xian artifact. Bang 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 bang! Golden claws smashed on the black round shield one after another, causing a huge explosion. Yi Li's body kept falling down. Bang! How could a heaven-grade Xian artifact withstand the attack of profound meaning? Soon, the shield cracked. A huge broad sword appeared in Yi Li's hands, and he put it in front of him. Once again, he fended off the golden claws. Crack! However, after more than a dozen claws, the broad sword cracked again. Lu Li was heartbroken. Those were all good stuff. Each of them was worth millions of Xian crystals, and now they were destroyed. Bang! The golden claws smashed on Yi Li. His armor cracked layer by layer. Soon, his body was badly mutilated, and he fell to the foot of the Emperor Mountain. Yi Li was badly injured. It had been 7 against 4 and now it was 7 against 3. What was more, Zi Huanyu didn't do anything. He just watched from the iron-armored ship. Du Heng and Qi Tianhe's attacks were dodged by Yi Xiao and the others. It seemed that Lu Li had gained the upper hand. Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang were excited. They blushed and their eyes glowed with excitement. Madame Yen poured cold water on them and said, "Don't celebrate too soon. Du Heng is at the peak of the noble lord realm, and he has a 4th rank profound meaning. Also, his profound meaning and bloodline skill work together perfectly. He is not weaker than our forefather. He hasn't even used his full strength yet." The 5 mysterious men and Mingyu on Lu Li's side have clearly just reached the noble lord realm. Only one of them and Mingyu understand profound meaning. The other 4 would have been badly injured if it were not for the fact that they are fast. She was right. Du Heng made a move with full strength. A purple stamp on his neck glowed, the same as Du Xiling's. The little seal turned into a ray of light and shot into the sky. It quickly became bigger and bigger, turning into a small mountain. A heavy aura came from the little seal, and it felt like a Emperor mountain. The bead of life appeared in Du Heng's abdomen. He didn't control it to fly out. Instead, it spun around his abdomen, giving off a yellowish glow. Whoosh! Yu Huashan controlled the iron-armored ship to move back at once. Du Xiling did the same. "What are you doing?" Lu Li looked at Yu Huashan with a frown. The latter didn't explain. He looked to the front and said, "See? Bang bang bang." There were several warriors of the Fate Wheel realm and the Eternal realm with Du Heng. They all fell down like shooting stars. Yi Xiao and the other 3 warriors were the same. They all took out their beads of life, but it was difficult for them to fly. Their speed was greatly reduced. Profound meaning of gravity is a 4th rank profound meaning. But Du Heng integrated another low-rank profound meaning into it not long ago. Its power has been doubled. It is now a 5th rank profound meaning. Yu Huashan looked at Du Heng with fear and said, "Profound meaning of gravity and his heaven-flipping stamp, Du Heng's attacking power is horrifying. Apart from that subordinate of your family patriarch, Du Heng can defeat all of us one-on-one." Boom! The stamp smashed down. A patriarch of the Cyan Phoenix race was slowed down by the gravity. He couldn't dodge and was smashed into the ground. Chapter 279. Horrifying! Lu Li was shocked and so were the warriors on the ground, including Bai Qiushue. The combination of the gravity profound meaning and the overturning heaven seal was perfect. The overturning heaven seal could crush enemies with absolute strength. With the help of the gravity profound meaning, Lu Li could defeat warriors of lower realms than Du Heng easily. "Yu Huashan, can you stop Du Heng?" Lu Li asked Yu Huashan. Yi Xiao and the others were running away, and Mingyu didn't dare to get closer. Yu Huashan forced a smile and said, "It won't work. I will be stopped in one move. My shield of sparks cannot stop his overturning heaven seal. I have a 6th rank bloodline and he has a 7th rank bloodline. His profound meaning is 2 ranks higher than mine." "Young master, don't worry." Yu Huashan thought about it and said to Yi Cha in a low voice, "This man hasn't shown his full power. I think he can be evenly matched with Du Heng. Step back. I will deal with him." Under such circumstances, Yi Cha could no longer conserve his abilities. He shouted and sped up. Even though he hadn't reached his limit, he was already horrifying. Lu Li and the others couldn't even see him clearly. Yi Cha transformed into a gust of wind, flew around in the sky and dashed toward Du Heng. Ming Yu and the others stepped back at once and then dashed toward the iron-armored ship toward Qi Tianhe and Zi Huanyu. They knew very well that they couldn't take Madame Yen, Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang away without defeating or killing Du Heng. Whoosh, Zi Huanyu made a move. What surprised many was that he didn't attack Ming Yu and Yi Xiao. Instead, he flew toward another iron-armored ship and landed in front of Zilian. Zi Huanyu's white beard danced in the air, and he put his hands behind his back. Clearly, he wasn't going to make a move. Du Xiling squinted. He sneered at Zi Huanyu and said, "Chief Patriarch, what do you mean by this? Or are you in cahoots with Lu Li?" Zi Huanyu indifferently glanced at Du Xiling, and a violent aura surged from his body, making Du Xiling feel as if he was being stared at by a huge beast. Zi Huanyu glanced at him and said, "It's not up to you to teach me how to do things. If you spout any more nonsense, I don't mind teaching you how to behave on behalf of your father." Du Xiling didn't dare to speak, but Yi Yuhan glanced at Zilian. Zilian's beautiful eyes were also filled with confusion. She shook her head, indicating that she also did not know why Zi Huanyu was doing this. Zilian looked at Zi Huanyu. The latter thought about it and moved his lips. Zilian heard a mosquito-like voice. "Lu Li's father is probably Lu Renhuang, the warrior of the human sovereign realm that injured the old man of heaven prison with one palm more than a decade ago. Our family patriarch didn't come this time because he was afraid that Lu Li would come to the Bai Emperor Mountain. He is right. Lu Li, we cannot afford to offend him." Zilian let out a sound of surprise. She glanced over to Lu Li with astonishment written all over her face. Soon, a trace of bitterness appeared on her face. She regretted not helping Lu Li in the fight at the Wuling County. It seemed to be the worst decision she had ever made in her life. Hist, on the other side, Yi Xiao, Ming Yu, and the others had arrived near the iron-armored ship. Ming Yu had already used his force to suppress Qi Tianhe. His force seemed to be similar to Du Heng's gravitational inhibition formation, but there was an essential difference. Force was to use the force of heaven and earth to confine space. Gravitational inhibition formation, on the other hand, increased the gravity in that area, slowing down warriors and making them fall down uncontrollably. Yi Xiao stabbed forward with his long sword. He used the secret skill he used when he fought Yu Huashan last time, which scared Qi Tianhe half to death. The other two patriarchs of the Cyan Phoenix race also turned into phantoms and wandered around Yi Xiao, waiting for a chance to make a move. Qi Tianhe could not bear it anymore. He looked to Zi Huanyu, only to see that Zi Huanyu was standing there calmly. He had no intention of making a move. The only thing he could do was to dodge and retreat and shoot arrows to fight back. He knew very well that he could not hide for long. Ming Yu's force had suppressed him and slowed him down. He was no match for Yi Xiao and the others. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated or killed. On the other side, Yi Cha and Du Heng were fighting. Yi Cha sped up and circled around Du Heng. At the same time, he released the space-splitting profound meaning at full power. Huge golden claws smashed toward Du Heng from all directions. Yi Cha didn't get close to Du Heng, so he was not affected by the gravitational force. Facing Yi Cha's attack, Du Heng was not in a hurry. He controlled the small stamp to fly up and circle around him, smashing the golden claws easily. Boom, 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 the small stamp and the golden claws collided with each other, creating a horrible explosion that could break through gold and stones. Small cracks appeared in the space, which were then healed and then cracked again and again. The process was repeated. It seemed that the fight between the two had cracked the sky and then healed it. Horrifying chi and energy spread out, making the atmosphere extremely heavy. It was like the eve of a storm, extremely depressing. Along with the sounds of explosions, many people's hearts trembled. The young masters and young ladies on Zilien's side had learned a lot. It was rare to see a fight of this level, which could help them learn and grow. Qi Tianhe was attacked by the four together and the situation was getting more and more dangerous. Du Heng wanted to help many times, but he was stopped by Yi Cha. Yi Cha's attacks were continuous. They were powerful and fast. Yi Cha always kept a distance from Qi Tianhe. Qi Tianhe was furious, but there was nothing he could do. Swish, swish, Yi Shao and the others rushed toward Qi Tianhe at the same time. Two patriarchs tried to distract Qi Tianhe, while Yi Shao attacked from behind. He used two hooks and left two deep marks on Qi Tianhe's back. Qi Tianhe was wearing a soft armor of the heaven grade, but it was cut open as well. His back was bleeding. Zi Huanyu! Qi Tianhe shouted in rage, "What are you waiting for? Are you going to watch us die?" Du Heng glared at Zi Huanyu and shouted, "Zi Huanyu, are you going to break the contract? Take Lu Li down." Zi Huanyu shrugged and said, "I am sorry, guys. The Zi family is out of this fight. Lu Li once saved my little Lien in the tomb of the Dragon King. Zi family has some history with Lu Li. She begged me. So, I am sorry." Swish, 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 countless gazes looked at Zi Lien. Two red clouds appeared on Zi Lien's pretty face. She lowered her head and looked down. That bashful appearance of a little girl caused many young masters to be envious. Many people misunderstood. They thought that Zi Lien liked Lu Li and that was why Zi Huanyu didn't want to be enemies with Lu Li. Du Heng and Qi Tianhe were shaking with anger. The Zi family was out of the fight at this critical moment? At this rate, they were going to be killed. Qi Tianhe looked at the warriors of the Eternal Realm and Fate Wheel Realm around him and shouted, "What are you waiting for? Go and take Lu Li down." Du Heng looked at Du Xiling and shouted, "Xiling, go to the Heaven Prison City." More than 100 warriors of the Eternal Realm and the Fate Wheel Realm rushed toward Lu Li and Yu Huashan. Du Xiling was carried by a warrior of the Eternal Realm toward the Heaven Prison City like a sharp sword. Oh no! Chapter 280. Whoosh, whoosh, more than 20 warriors of the Eternal Realm and 60 or 70 of the Fate Wheel Realm flew toward Lu Li. Many fate wheels whooshed across the sky and smashed at the iron-armored ship that Lu Li was on. Many of them released their Xian energy, trying to smash the iron-armored ship that Lu Li was on into pieces. Piss off! Profound meaning of sparks. Yu Huashan shouted. The flame mark on his neck appeared and his bead of life came out. A blue dragon of fire shot out. He didn't generate a sparks shield. Instead, he controlled the dragons of fire to fly around. At the same time, he grabbed Lu Li with one hand and flew up from the iron-armored ship. Boom, boom! The iron-armored ship that was like a castle in the sky was smashed by the fate wheels. It was torn apart in an instant. Wood shavings were flying around and falling down. Dust covered the sky and the ground. Lu Li was enraged. An iron-armored ship was worth millions of Xian crystals. It belonged to him, and he would be heartbroken if it was destroyed. He shouted, "Yu Huashan, kill them!" Swish, swish, the blue dragons of fire whooshed over and entangled the warriors one by one. The flames were horrifying. They were the combination of the profound meaning of sparks and bloodline skill. A single spark could start a prairie fire. The warriors that were entangled by the dragons of fire burst into flames. They rolled around in midair, and then they were burned to death in a speed visible to the naked eye. In the end, they fell to the ground as charred bodies. It was a ghastly sight. Yu Huashan was at the middle stage of the Noble Lord Realm. It was so easy for him to kill warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm and the Eternal Realm. In the time for just a few breaths, he had killed more than a dozen warriors of the Fate Wheel Realm and 3 of the Eternal Realm. Yu Huashan was fast. None of the warriors that were carrying Lu Li and the others could hit them. Finally, the warriors of the Eternal Realm and the Fate Wheel Realm were scared. Nobody wanted to die, not to mention a meaningless death. Many of them flew to the distance at once. It would be hard for them to wound Lu Li, let alone capture him. Bang! Qi Tianhe was grabbed. Half of his leg was torn off by Yi Xiao and he was smashed away. Qi Tianhe was scared. He controlled his beat of life to fly away like a shooting star. If he didn't run now, he would die here. Ming Yu and the rest did not give chase. They were here to save people, not to kill. Yi Li from the Tianliang Kingdom was also down there. They didn't kill him because they were afraid that the situation would worsen and angered Du Jing completely. Looking at Ming Yu, Yi Xiao, and the others flying towards him, Du Heng was secretly anxious. He had worked so hard to create such a situation, was it going to go to waste? Could it be that their invasion of the Thousand Island Lake would be the same as the last time, and they would return in low spirits? He looked at the Heaven Prison City. Du Xiling had gone there, but why hadn't Du Jing come out? Du Jing should be coming out, right? In the outdoor pavilion, Madame Yen murmured. If Du Jing didn't come out today, Lu Li would have won for sure. However, the possibility of this happening was almost zero. Since Du Jing had helped the 3 royal families in the Ghost Valley, he would definitely help them to the end. Otherwise, what he had done before would be meaningless. Zi Huanyu, Zi Lian, Yi Yuhan, and the others also looked at the Heaven Prison City. They didn't need to pay attention to the battle here. Now they just needed to see if Du Jing would come out. Similarly, many Eternal Realm and Fate Wheel Realm warriors and families on the Bai Emperor Mountain looked towards the Heaven Prison City, waiting for Du Jing to show up. Whoosh! At that moment, 2 men flew up from the Heaven Prison City. It was just a warrior of the Eternal Realm who was carrying Du Xiling on a fate wheel. The 2 of them flew over in a blur. Du Xiling's amorous eyes were filled with pride. He stared at Lu Li in the distance and sneered, "Lu Li, your time has come." Madame Yen, Bai Qiushue and the others were shocked. Du Jing had come out after all. Bai Xiaoshuang and the others turned pale. Whoosh! As soon as Du Xiling finished his words, a golden chariot flew up from the Heaven Prison City and dashed towards them. There were 2 blurry figures on the chariot. In the front was a middle-aged man in a black robe, and behind him was a man dressed as a steward. The golden chariot was fast. It pierced through the sky in an instant. The 2 men could be seen clearly now. However, many people were taken aback when they saw the 2 men. Madame Yen, Bai Qiushue, Bai Xiaoshuang, Lu Li, and many warriors of the Thousand Island Lake were stunned. They all knew the elegant middle-aged man in the front. Chief Steward Du of the Heaven Punishing Auction House. Lu Li also knew the man behind him. It was Zhan Yang, the steward of the auction house. Lu Li remembered clearly that when he was bidding for the Origin Blood Essence at the auction house, it was this steward Du who mortgaged the Heaven Serpent fruit for him so that he could buy that drop of blood at the price of 20 million. This steward Du was the steward of the Heaven Punishing Auction House. Many people knew him. Many patriarchs and stewards of families of the Thousand Island Lake went to the Heaven Punishing Auction House to sell or auction treasures. They were all received by Du in person. As far as many people were concerned, this man was just a small steward. He was not powerful, only at the Eternal Realm. The chariot pierced through the sky and stopped by the Bai Emperor Mountain. Chief Steward Du glanced over and said with a smile, "I am Du Jing. Nice to meet you. It is quite a scene here. King Du Heng, why did you ask young Master Du to invite me here?" What? Everyone was in an uproar. This man really was the number 2 warrior of the Northern Desert, Du Jing. Du Jing was famous, but he never showed his face in public. This was the first time he revealed his identity. Many people didn't expect that this smiling chief steward Du was the chief steward of the northern desert of the heaven-punishing auction house, the number 2 warrior on the northern desert warlord list. Du Heng, Du Xiling and the others were stunned. Of course, Du Heng knew this man was Du Jing. What he didn't understand was why Du Jing didn't do anything after he came out. Why did he pretend to be unfamiliar with him? After a while, Du Heng said in a deep voice, "Lord Du Jing, please help us kill these enemies. We will be grateful. If you have any requests in the future, I will satisfy you." Everyone quieted down at this moment. Yi Cha, Ming Yu and the others stopped. They looked at Du Jing, waiting for his decision. "Ha ha." Du Jing smiled lightly. He shook his head and said with a bitter smile, "What are you talking about, King Du? The heaven-punishing auction house is here to do business. We cannot interfere in the disputes of the northern desert. This is the iron rule of our family. Also, the major families of the Central Plains have an agreement that families of the Central Plains cannot interfere in the internal affairs of other continents. Haven't you heard of this? So, King Du, I am sorry. I cannot help you." Many people rolled their eyes. Even though Du Jing didn't reveal his identity in the Haunted Hollow, many people were sure that Du Jing had helped him. Du Heng was 100% sure because it was Zhan Yang, the man behind Du Jing, who contacted him. Du Heng touched his nose, not understanding what Du Jing was up to. Not only Du Heng, but Zi Huanyu, Yu Huashan, Ming Yu and Madame Yen were also confused. Who was Du Jing putting up a show for? If he didn't want to get involved in the disputes of the northern desert, then why did he help the 3 royal families to kill the old man of Heaven Prison? After a moment of silence, Du Heng cupped his fists again and said, "Lord Du, you must be joking. You are here, don't you want to do something?" Du Heng's hint was clear. Since Du Jing had shown up, there was no need for him to pretend to be a saint. Otherwise, wouldn't it be better for him to hide in the auction house? "Of course I am here for something." Du Jing nodded. Then he looked at Lu Li, cupped his fists and said with a smile, "I am here for young Master Lu. Young Master Lu, you once mortgaged a heaven serpent fruit at our auction house. Why didn't you come and deal with it? Now that you are here, why don't you come to my place? Let's talk and see if there is a possibility of cooperation in the future. Young Master Lu, can you do me a favor?" Swish, 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 Du Heng, Du Xiling, Yi Yuhan and the other warriors' expressions changed. Du Jing's hint was clear. This time, he was here to support Lu Li. Phew, phew, Zi Huanyu exhaled. He felt lucky that he didn't make a move just now. Suddenly, a bold idea came to his mind. Du Jing went around in circles and set up such a shocking plan. Could it be he was trying to befriend Lu Li? You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.